Hey guys, hold on one second. I just got on here. Now I have to mute immediately. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I'm here, guys. Yay. Yay. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was trying to get do any of you guys have like fidget toys and stuff? So I have like a whole pile of fidget toys. And I have my new favorite one is like the silly putty type stuff, metallic one. I think it's called like scarab or something color. And I've broken most of my other ones that are up on my desk. Like I had these squishy bats, but they're filled with like a liquid and I squeezed them so much that like, yeah. And I had like a chicken that like laid an egg, but that popped too. So I found one that's like silly putty. So I think it's a little bit more durable. So let me say hello. Hello, Michelle, Rody Gal, Kellyanne. Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's very nice here where I am. It's quite warm. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and I'm kind of wishing I wasn't. I have the window cracked open actually. Hey, incognito. Um, so last night I was going to come on and do some true crime, but then I was like, I kind of went down a rabbit hole with some stuff and I wanted to put something actually good together for you guys, which I'm going to do. But hey, Siley, good morning. Um, why can't I see? Why does my computer keep freezing? Oh my goodness. It's like it's like right. Oh my god, the chat is like frozen. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. Hi. All right. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. My thing is like being really glitchy today. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it's doing. That's concerning. Okay. I think it's because the internet in this room is a little shoddy, especially if I have the door closed. So yeah, and I was gonna do that yesterday, and then I got really tired. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it in the morning. I'm just gonna do it in the morning because yes. And then I came on this morning, and of course, there's all sorts of stuff going on. But I mean, I retitled the live just because I'm not really sure where this morning live is gonna go. I'm not really sure. Yes, Xylee has a really awesome channel. I love Xylee's channel. If you're not subscribed to Xylee, you should be. She talks about like creators that are much larger. She's kind of doing a thing about our community right now, which is actually really for those of us, including myself, who may have lost our self-awareness the last couple I don't know how long it's been, a couple months. You know, it's very interesting to see an outsider's perspective of what goes on here. So, you know, I think that yeah. So she's doing each creator at a time. So of course, you know, as she goes, she's gonna upset whoever supports that. But it's gonna be, I think she's coming for everybody here. So she does a really great job though, and she sticks with facts. Nothing that's not, you know, nothing that's speculation. Nothing that's, you know, hearsay or he said she said. It's just facts on behavior that you can watch for yourself on YouTube, which I think is a great way to do it, because that way nobody can really argue with that because it's the facts and it's coming out of your own mouth. So that's my little spiel on that. But yes, and I think you're hilarious too. So I was like, oh my gosh, you're really funny. But yeah, so good morning, everybody. And I'm very excited for my live tomorrow night. I'm actually going to do a test run of that later on tomorrow with my dad to kind of show him how to do StreamYard and stuff like that, because I don't think he's ever used StreamYard. And I know that other communities make fun of all of us for using StreamYard. This is the only streaming service that I really know. And it's easy enough to use. So like for me, like I might do social media and like digital marketing for a living, but I'm also kind of like technologically not great at certain things. So like, you know, if it's easy to use, like I get really set in my ways. So that's why I use it. But I know it's like it's something other people laugh at in other communities. I've seen it 1,000 times other places that I've been in chats and they're making fun of people who use StreamYard. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, I'm very excited for it too. So I posted last night. I posted on a community tab thing that I've decided, and I might not even make people subscribe to do it because I don't know, that feels gimmicky to me. But I mean, this I guess we could say that if I'm trying to build a channel, it's a good way to do it. It's a good way to. Hi, Dippity Doo, good to see you. And hello, Anne and Johnny, and Gladys, of course. Hi, Without Borders, good to see you too. So what I'm going to do is, and you know, I have to stop thinking like that because if you want to build your channel, sometimes you got to do stuff like this. But I'm going to be anybody who stops by for tomorrow's live. I'm going to be putting everybody's name into a raffle. I'm not sure how many copies of the book that my dad is willing to give to me. He has actually three, but two really good true crime books that he has. one of them being on the parole board. And then he has another one called Heinous Crimes, but I kind of want to do that giveaway because obviously we're doing something about parole board. So I'm going to be giving away autographed copies of his books to whoever I pull out of my little raffle thing. And I was going to say anybody who stops by and says hello, I'm going to go through the chat transcript and I'll put your name in there. Preferably if you're subscribed. If you're subscribed, I'll put your name in twice because, I always appreciate the support. Hey, Bryn. And yeah, we're gonna do that. I mean, I know that maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea, but my dad has a lot of interesting things to say. Those books are actually pretty good. And yeah, I enjoyed them. So I thought that maybe that would be something fun for everybody. And I know people are probably like, there's no way in heck I'm giving you my address, but we'll figure out a way. I'll have it like shipped through Amazon or something because his books are sold on Amazon. So we'll figure it out a way that we can do this without you guys having to give your address to me if you're not comfortable or, something like that, because I totally understand. But what if you're a mod? 3 entries if you're a mod, maybe. We can talk about that, Michelle. We can talk, or maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. I'm glad that you guys are excited about this. So if you're subbed to me, I will put you in twice. So yes, because I appreciate all of your support. I'm really excited about this because the reason I changed my live title to this is because, I'm not trying to poke fun at anybody. I'm really not. Like I'm easy to get along with. I'm not here to do anything like that. But you have so many creators and they're always coming on here and they're like, well, I'm going to be doing something different. We're going to do something different. We're not going to do drama anymore. We're going to do something different. How many times do we hear that? Well, where's the different stuff, guys? Where is it? Where is it? Let's actually get on that and do that. There's nothing wrong with a little drama here and there. And if that's what your channel's about and you're good at it, then fine. You know what? Go for it. But if you want to do something different, give it a try, guys. Give it a try. Do it. I'm a little nervous about it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about it. Because I don't know what I'm doing. So, are there going to be technical difficulties tomorrow? Probably, but we're going to work through them. I'm really excited. He's really excited to actually come on here. He's, I don't think, he's done some, if you Google put his name, he's done some stuff on YouTube, but nothing like this. He's mostly done like professional, talking, and I'm not even sure if it was streamed to YouTube or if it was streamed somewhere else and then posted on YouTube. I have no idea. So whatever, but this is his first time kind of coming on here, and he was asking me a bunch of questions. He was like, so, where do you know all these people from? And I was like, oh my God, Dad, that's a long story. But I'm like, without going into too much detail, how about let's just go with, we all a lot of us like true crime. So that's what hey, Sofa King. A fantastic co-host. Yeah. So I need to brush up on my interviewing skills. I'm probably just going to let him talk. And then I'll try to figure out, I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. We're going to have fun doing it. Because I really want to do some actual content. Really, I really do. And if that means me streaming stuff and kind of putting my neck on the line in case I might get struck for it, then so be it. Because I think that with fair use, I'm allowed to stream stuff. And then, if I do commentary. However, I've done that before, and the one time that I did it, they still threatened to strike me, so who knows? But I was warned that this particular, like I said, I was warned about that, and I think that, I feel like if you're a smaller channel, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about like a smaller channel that puts out those, he has a channel, but he has one video on it, and it is really kind of funny because with the pandemic, he's a professor at a grad school program, and he had to do a what is it called, like a message to the students, and he's now taken over my sister's old bedroom, and my sister was allowed to paint one wall when she was like a teenager, and she painted it like this ugly green, and she had like these butterfly decals on it. So his desk is right by the window there. So all you can see in the background as he's talking is this ugly green wall and these butterfly decals. So I was like, Dad, you probably would have, should have done that in study instead of like, but I think because because he lectures, he used to travel all over the world, but now he does it online. So he'll be lecturing in Japan. So it's like the middle of the night where we are, and, or Australia, or, so he's up at all hours, and I think it was driving my mom crazy. So she kind of put him in that room, but, hold on. Yes. The killer bees. Yes, so I'm excited about this, guys. I really, really, really am. But I have a couple topics that I want to do, and I've been saving playlists of some stuff. I've been playing so I can stream them and we can talk about it. Because I feel like if you're a smaller channel that does like the documentary style videos, that even if anybody shares your stuff, like as long as you credit them, I don't see why anybody would have a problem with that. Because I certainly won't. Hey, Abby, I love, 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 love. If people share my stuff, as long as they're not like taking credit for it. But if you're like, because I found a couple small channels that have done some really, really pretty good quality documentary style videos about topics, and they might have less than 1,000 subscribers or whatever. So I feel like why would they have a problem with me playing their stuff and doing commentary, as long as I'm linking their channel? I wouldn't have a problem with it. So and I've looked for emails on some of them, because I try to keep things above. I try to keep things uh I don't know, like I don't like stepping on people's toes here. I get it. Some people get really bent out of shape if you use their material. I got bent out of shape one time. Somebody used my material for something that was really gross and inappropriate. Um, but I think anybody would have. I mean, I didn't particularly enjoy or appreciate my stuff being used to make a hate video towards somebody. I didn't like that at all, because that's that's not something that I believe in. Hey, Amber. And yes, oh, you're I'm telling you though. So my dad, I was trying to explain to him the community, and he's seen some of the videos that I've made. So we've had to have this conversation about who the people I'm talking about are and whatever. And I mean, he doesn't give a crap about like the drama and stuff like that, but he definitely has some like opinions on why stuff like this happens online from like a sociological and psychological perspective, because it is really interesting. Because I actually had an old boss that said this to me once. It said, no matter where you go, because I was a manager at a Walmart, so I had worked at a couple different ones, and they were like, no matter what store you go to, right, there's always going to be the same characters, there's always going to be the same cast of characters. They're going to have different names, but it's these same personality types falling into the same roles. And it's so true. So I think it's interesting how that kind of stuff happens here. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like, Michelle, I try to have like topics, and I have ADD. So like for me, it's like me trying to do topics is like something that I'm really going to have to work on, because I want to do that. But, for the time being, I just finished my classes 2 days ago. So now I have a lot of time to actually put into the content I want to do. But in the meantime, I still want to check in with you guys, because I like to talk to you guys and I like to hang out. Because it's a break for me from like the rest of the stuff. And everyone's like, you could always just leave the community if you don't like it here. But, I like the people. I don't necessarily or at all like what goes on here, but I do like the people. And I don't want to leave for that reason, because I've grown to, enjoy a lot of your guys' conversation, whether it be in my chat or somebody else's chat. Yeah, that's right, Sofa King. That's right. That's right. And that's what I want to try to do, because, I've had, and I don't know, anybody else on here who's a creator, I'm sure you guys can confirm this. And even if you're a smaller creator like myself, you get emails all the time that say the weirdest stuff. Oh, Xylee, I get you, and you do a great job. So I'm impressed that you can keep it as on topic as you do. And I'm learning to do that. I need to literally I need to make like PowerPoint presentations, basically, to keep myself organized, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. I'm working on something today. I'm probably going to bring it on here tonight. And I think it's a topic that you guys are really going to enjoy. And it is true crime. We're going to be talking about, actually, it's a topic that YouTube doesn't really like people to talk about, which I think is I understand why. We're going to have a conversation about it too, because I understand why, because there are a lot of people that glorify some sorts of crimes, such as like school violence. And I've seen a lot of that on here, like, a lot of people fangirling over some weird stuff like that. So I can understand why that, is difficult, but they censor straight up words. They really do. So we're going to be talking about that though, because it's actually a rabbit hole that I've gone down, and my dad actually has some interesting things to share about it. So I'm going to be streaming some of his stuff tonight, but we're going to be talking about like the violence in schools, and some of the more notorious ones that have happened. And we're going to talk about those things. So I don't know if we're going to talk about all of them at once, but we're definitely going to talk about some specific ones. because it's coming up on the anniversary of some of them. And I've actually told you guys that I've stumbled upon some interesting new information that was recently released on it. So we're going to do that tonight. Yeah, notebooks. I need to get notebooks. I have binders, actually. I literally have, I'm going to call them my trapper keepers, because the word binders here is kind of been been made into a like a joke, and I don't. Yeah. Yes, Gladys. A Mother's Reckoning. I literally, you get it, Gladys. I actually was listening to it on audiobook last night. Also, Dave Cullen's Columbine is really, I didn't hate it. I know there's a lot of people that didn't care for it, but yes. And Gladys, very interesting that you mention her, because my dad has done some conferences with her about school violence and stuff like that. So he actually has a really interesting perspective about that case. And I did cry the whole time too, Gladys. If you haven't read that book, it's also on audiobook. It's by Sue Klebold, who is the mother of Dylan Klebold, one of the Columbine. They don't like when you say that word, but I'll say it anyway. One of the Columbine shooters. And yeah, and she put it out kind of recently, and it's very, very interesting. And I really enjoyed it. I think it'll give people a unique perspective on stuff and make people look at things in a way that they hadn't before. And she reads it herself for the audiobook. She's the narrator, and she has a very nice voice to listen to, actually. So no whiteboard. No whiteboard. So yeah. Yeah, she also did a TED Talk about her son. I was gonna stream some of that stuff, Bryn. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight, because it's a case that fascinates me. It impacted my life, not because I was like, but just because it impacted all of our lives of people that were going to school at that time. Not in a way that it impacted like the victims. I'm not trying to say obviously, but for someone like me, it changed the way schools were. And it's a really interesting case. And my dad has a really interesting perspective on it. And I have probably an unpopular opinion view on it. And there's a lot of stuff about it that just isn't true. The media really twisted that case into something that it wasn't, to fit a narrative. And I was under the impression that that's what it was, and everything that, that I knew what happened and the reasons. And the truth is that it wasn't. It's not all as it seemed. And actually, the truth behind it is even scarier than, saying that people were impacted by music and stuff and like video games and stuff. I mean, while some of that stuff, maybe played a role in some of it, like the truth behind it, or what I believe the truth is, in my opinion, is a lot scarier, because it's a much deeper than that. So that was actually what I wanted to talk about last night, but I ended up finding a whole bunch of more resource material. And I want to do a whole show on it. But YouTube does not like that topic at all. And I understand why. Oh, that was your first year as a teacher? Yeah, I get that. Yep. 101 essays that'll change. I haven't heard of that one, Without Borders. I'll have to look that up. Your son was a senior. Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, Gladys. That's right. And I have most of those books. I have, Columbine by Dave Cullen is a really good one. There's one by Jeff Cass that's pretty good. But yeah, the one by the mother, I mean, I actually cried it several times during that, because you know what, you can't imagine. I was actually watching one of the videos with one of the victims' fathers, the student who lost his life. His name was Daniel Mauser. His dad actually wrote a book called Walking in Daniel's Shoes, and I was crying so hard during a lot of that, because no parent should lose a child. I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine. And, it's heartbreaking, because they told him that there was another school bus of kids coming, and that school bus never came. And his kid was one of the last to be killed. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, it gets me emotional, Yeah, this is the same mom that did the TED Talk. Yes, Without Borders. Yep. And I was actually going to stream some of that later on. And it's true. I mean, because you have to think, like, the media portrayed them to be, really just horrible parents, and like, completely out of touch and all of that. And I mean, we don't know much about the other student who, the other shooter's parents. We don't know a whole lot about that. There's a lot of speculation about it, but with Sue Klebold and her family, and my dad having some contact and stuff. I mean, they're not the people that the media put out. And it's very eye-opening, and it's very sad. It's very sad. So yes, we're definitely gonna be talking about that. The memorial and the teachers wrote about how they felt. Really? I'll have to look at that. I've always, you know, I've always like, there are people like I want to get people's perspectives on this too. Yeah, I loathe the mainstream media too because all they wanted to do with Outboarders, all they wanted to do was to, make it seem like it's all the music and the video games and the bullying, but it was so much more complicated than that. Yeah, his family has remained completely silent, Gladys. Yep, yep, and I think that they will forever. But you know, I guess I can kind of understand why, but at the same time, I appreciate that, Sue came forward with all of that. I mean, that couldn't have been easy for her. And I think that, it helps answer some of those questions of why. And just kind of, because as a parent, like, you always think you're like, well, if my kid was going to do that, you would know and all of that. But the truth is that, that's not always the case. I mean, you could be the most in tune parent, and sometimes things just go completely, it's you can't. I feel like a lot of people judge other people's situations when they haven't been in it. So it's really easy to judge somebody else from where you're sitting. But do you guys know what I mean? It's always more complicated than that. So I always try not to be quick to judge. Your husband worked at a local television station during this time. We didn't see him for 3 days of coverage. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're kind of local, aren't you, Gladys? I'm not sure. Like, I know that obviously it's a big, big state, but I'm not sure exactly where you are. I feel like you're kind of local, maybe. It's not like Rhode Island where I am, where everything is local. But yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it was a media frenzy. I mean, I remember even someone like myself got suspended after all of that because, all right. So yeah, you definitely are pretty local to that. I got suspended not long after that for something that I don't think I would have gotten suspended for otherwise. And it was something really silly. I wasn't like making threats about anything like that. I don't even want to say what I did because maybe it was bad, but I was mad because I'll tell you guys the story. I was in 8th grade and I was in the lunch line and the cafeteria, and I was short on the money to get lunch by 10 cents, literally a dime. And the lunch lady would not give me my food at all and told me to get out of the line because, I was holding it up or whatever. And you guys remember like those sporks that they used to give out in schools and stuff? I'm sure they still give them out other places, but I took the spork and I broke it in half and I said something along the lines of "this is you" because I was just mad and frustrated and I was a teenager and I was impulsive and I regretted it, but I got suspended for that. And I had to go to counseling and stuff because they thought that was like a threat of violence. But like if they had known me, I was not, but better safe than sorry, right? So yes, Gladys. I love Gladys though. You know what, Incognito? I think that's not. I know that that's definitely a hot topic. I know that there are people that feel really strongly either way. But when push comes to shove, here's my opinion on it. If a child isn't being fed, it's not their fault. So I agree. I feel like there should be food available because then you'll have the people that are like, well, if the parents can't afford it, they shouldn't have kids. Well, the fact is they do have kids. So, it's kind of that ship has sailed. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm glad that you guys, I'm glad that you guys are interested in that because it's a topic I've been wanting to do. Hi, Cece. Hi, Mishi. Is it afternoon? Oh, it is kind of afternoon, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh boy. But yeah, because that's what I was going to do. I was going to come on here and do it, but I want to do it right. And I was like, what? I'm just going to kind of do a chit chat for right now until I finish because I don't want to come on here and like half-ass it. Your kid got fired. Someone got fired for buying a kid a lunch? No way. That's messed up. Like, it's not the kids. People need to remember that. Like, if people have such strong opinions, including myself at times. I'm not gonna come on here and claim that I haven't had judgments about things because I have, but it's not the kid's fault. If a parent isn't feeding their child, it's not the child's fault. And yeah, that's not okay. Yeah. So that's the thing, Kellyanne, you're right. It's like there's so much stuff that happens right around the Denver area, and like the Denver airport itself is shrouded in conspiracy stuff. So I've never been to Colorado. I've always wanted to go to Denver though. It's actually like on my bucket list for in the States, just because it looks beautiful, first of all, like just Colorado in general. And there's a lot of interesting stuff around there. Like, I watched a documentary about the airport, and I need to rewatch it so I know how to like better explain it. But you got suspended in middle school for fighting a boy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only time that I got into a fight twice, one of which was not my fault, and I ended up getting cut with a knife that I still have a scar from. That I ended it was like that's a long story. But I yeah. Basically what had happened was I was after gym, I was in the locker room and I walked in on one of the girls. I thought my backpack was in that particular changing stall. And I opened up the wrong one, and there was a girl who was changing who was having some really awful stuff happening to her at home, and that triggered her, and she happened to have like a pocket knife or something, and she cut my arm. But in hindsight, you have to think about it like that probably really did trigger her based on like the trauma that she was experiencing at home. So it's just a bad situation. But the other time was I was playing Power Rangers in, I believe, first grade, and I had like undiagnosed ADHD. I was very impulsive, and I think I got carried away, and I like, punched that extra half an inch to actually hit somebody. And I was always taller than everybody else in my class. I was as tall as I am now by the fourth grade, and then I just stopped growing. So I was like, I was bigger than them. So I packed a punch, and I was just mortified. I was sobbing. I was at home, and I was like crying. I was inconsolable. And my dad actually had to pretend to call the police department and ask if they were looking for a 4-year-old named Emma who had hit somebody playing Power Rangers at school. And had to pretend that, they're like, oh, you're not looking for her. Oh, okay. We can handle that at home. Oh, that's great, officer. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, we'll definitely have a conversation with her. And then I was okay with it. But that was the other time. You got suspended for wearing really? Did you go to a religious school, Bren? I don't know. Yeah. Hi, Mel Hooks. But yeah, kids do need food to learn. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And you can't really blame a kid for their parents. That's not fair. Where is my drink? Why did I not bring my drink in here? Lame. Okay, lame. I had like a drink somewhere. I have some water, but which is probably what I should be drinking anyway. You got hit in the back of the head playing Star Wars lightsabers. Yes. I get that. Yeah. And kids, that's what kids do. But I was terrified because I was always raised. And same with like, I was just terrified of doing a lot of stuff as a kid because, I was raised where, you break the rules and, you can go to jail, you try to go to Rodigal, I have an interesting story about that too. Because you're in the 80s because giving my ice cream. That's funny. My parents would just be like, well, we had who was the director of it back in like the 90s? I think his name was Jay Lindgren or something. And they're like, well, we had him over for dinner the other night, so good luck. But yeah, a lot of people, and I think that Mishi, I think what happens is a lot of people try to they get angry at the parents, but the kid gets lost in that. The kid gets like their needs. It's like, okay, well, you disapprove of, the parenting and the fact that this person has children, but like they do have children. So, they need to, their kids need to eat, and a lot of the time taking it's a complicated situation. A lot of people like don't look at all the factors before they make a judgment, in my opinion. So yes, they'll see that you're not being stacked. But yeah. I don't know. That's what hi, Missing in Life. I'm sorry if I'm missing. Hello to you. Oh, finishing up that moving. Yep. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad that, it's always a process to move and stuff. I know you said it's a good thing for you. But I always hated it. And I always like never unpack fully. I still haven't unpacked entirely from moving, and I moved 4 years ago now. So I still have like boxes in the basement of stuff. And I'm like, I should just throw it out because if I haven't needed it in 4 years, I probably don't need it at all. But it's like, I always hold on to those hope. I'm like, well, I might fit into those pants again. Or, I could want to wear that. But the fact of the matter is that like my style has like completely changed over the past couple of years. Like, I've decided that, dressing like an, alternative rocker girl is like, I'll do that, to go to concerts or whatever, but that's not my everyday thing. I have kind of more of a laid back kind of fashion sense, but, I definitely dress a little bit more my age now. And I don't fit into half that. I don't wear a small or an extra small anymore. Like I don't. So I'm like, I should probably just get rid of it or sell it or do something with it because it's just taking up room. But I have a hard time with that. Yes, I'm glad. I hope people are excited. I'm really excited about tomorrow. So just bear with me the fact that I've never done something like this before. I've actually never had a guest up on my panel yet. So it might, it might have some bumps along the way, but I think it's going to be good. And by the time that we're done doing all of this, I think it's going to be a really great experience. I really, really do. And that's what I wanted to come on here for, just because that's why I changed the title. I was going to do true crime this morning, but I'm like, I'm going to do that tonight. And I woke up to, obviously, because I'm part of this community, I subscribe to a lot of people, the same people you guys do. And I woke up and I'm like, what is this nonsense that I'm waking up to on this? What is this? Why is this? And it just solidifies in my mind why I'm doing what I'm doing and trying to get away from it, because I'm just so tired of it. Like, when does it end? I talked about this a little bit yesterday. It's like, if somebody talks about me and I respond to it, and that just gives, in other people's minds, that just gives them, they feel that they need to respond. So it goes back and forth and escalates and goes back and forth, but when does it end? It doesn't end until somebody just stops. And that's why I've chosen to do things. Because I've had people, they email me, they're like, well, why haven't you responded to this? Did you see what so-and-so said about you? Are you just going to let them talk about you like that? And the answer is yes, I am. I'm going to let them talk about me like that, because I'm not even going to give anybody, I'm not going to do that, because it just encourages them to be angry at me even more, or it just proves what they're saying about me right when it isn't. And that's not what I want for my channel. I feel like there are enough people that appreciate, coming on here and having content that's a little bit different than what's, going on, or they, oh my God, where did my silly putty go? It dropped. No, sorry. I'm like a giant child, but yeah, I'm not going to play these games with people. I just want to do something different. I don't want to like be I'm not very good at drama, guys. I'm not good at it. I can't. I'm too nice, I think. And I think that enough people appreciate that. And I'm tired of hearing, well, then why are you in this community? Every day I wake up to a message saying, well, if you don't have thick enough skin, why are you here? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with having thick skin. I just don't feel like, being confrontational and responding is helpful. I don't feel like, it's like arguing with, a toddler half the time, because it really is, and then you have all sorts of different stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. And I appreciate that incognito. I truly, truly do, because I just try to be myself. And, I get that people get defensive for me, and they're like, you're really going to let them say that about you, if this isn't the community for you, this is my community. That's just the fact. I've been here for a year now. I've talked to a lot of people here. I've made friends. I've made connections. I enjoy talking to you guys, so I'm not going anywhere. There's no reason why this can't be my community. And when was this an entirely drama community anyway? Until recently. This used to have a lot of true crime. This used to have a lot of other sorts of content in it, with a little bit of drama here and there. And then starting in I don't know, I want to say maybe October, November, it started being just drama all the time. And then it slowly evolved into, I don't even think this is like a drama community anymore. I think this is just straight up drama, and not even good drama at that, just nonsense, and just goes on and on and on. And I'm making a really fun video about it, guys. I think you're going to very much enjoy it. I'm very happy with it. It's probably one of the longer videos I've done, but I was like, you know what? I have a new editing thing, so I'm gonna use that, and we're gonna do that. I feel bad when people tell a creator all the crap that is said about. Right? Yep. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, Kelly. And sometimes I do appreciate if people tell me, because I'm not everywhere, and a lot of the times that I'm seeing my name lately are in communities that are or not communities, but channels I've never even heard of, and who I've never spoken to, or else they spoke to me under a different name. And, they're saying all these things about me. And then what bothers me the most, it wouldn't bother me if it was complete strangers saying stuff. But if it was, I'll see a subscriber that used to frequent my chat quite often and who I enjoyed having in my chat saying something along the lines of, "Oh, I didn't know that about her. I hope that's not true." And that's what pisses me off because, you're influencing people that liked me. And you're saying these things that aren't true, and then somebody goes around and they just keep repeating it as if it's fact. And for me, I mean, it happens to other people way more than it happens to me, but it sucks. And you do feel like you want to defend yourself, but that's not working either. So I'm just going to be quiet and I'm just going to do my own thing. And, it seems to piss people off if you do your own thing, but that's what I've tried to say to everybody. Like, everybody, and I just need to get this off my chest. It's like, there's a lot of people. Yeah. There's a lot of people that'll be like, "Oh, well, I don't care where you go. I don't care what channels you're in," but they do. Like they do. And they do notice where people are because we hear them talk about it. And I don't want to be one of those people because if I have an issue with a creator, that has nothing to do with you guys. I appreciate the people who do stand up for me. Like I very much do. Because and half the time nobody's let me get a word in edgewise with those people. And I'm not saying that I don't, because I appreciate that. If you guys think that something's wrong, I feel like you have every right to tell somebody that. But at the same time, it's like I'm not going to ask you guys to stop watching a creator that you enjoy because I have an issue with them. That's not fair. If you enjoy somebody, go watch them. There's nothing wrong with that. YouTube's supposed to be entertainment, not like, voting for like the next president or whatever. Like that, it's not like that at all. Like if you're entertained by something, like you don't have to justify why you're there ever, ever. And, I came on here for the longest time and was talking about like, the morals and stuff. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, it's really not that serious. The only time that I'm going to have an issue with something is if people are throwing money at somebody to be abusive and awful. I don't like that. But I'm also not going to treat you, if I see you doing that, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to, as long as you're respectful in my chat, I'm not going to treat you any differently. But that's the only thing that I don't like is if somebody, is being really awful and just being really completely inappropriate and crossing boundaries and lines, and you see that person getting thrown super chats, that rubs me the wrong way a little bit. But obviously, that's people's decisions. I can't control what people do with their money. That's not my business. It's not my business what people do with their money. It's not my business. If people want to give money to somebody, like it is what it is, right? Hey Amanda, good to see you. Yeah, everything. Yeah, hold on. I need glasses so badly. Oh, thank you, Mike. Yes, guys, hit that thumbs up. Hey, mom of two men. I'm good. I was thinking about you earlier. I'm hoping everything is okay. I know you're dealing with a lot right now. Definitely keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, you and your mom. So hopefully you're holding up okay. And yes, thank you, Mike. If you guys want to hit that thumbs up, that would be awesome. And I've accepted that too, though. It's like, no matter what I do, somebody's always going to be upset here. What was it last night? Not last night, but the night before, I woke up and I had lost 10 subscribers overnight. And, and I noticed that, every time I go into a chat, it doesn't matter what chat it is, somebody's going to get upset about it. And somebody's going to, take a screenshot of that and go show people and be like, look what chat. That's the thing, guys. I don't literally, like, if I see you in a chat of somebody that I don't particularly like, I'm not going to immediately assume that you co-sign absolutely everything that person does. Because you know what? I almost promise you that they don't. Nobody does. But entertainment is entertainment. So I'm actually not comfortable like putting like, making people feel like they're bad people for watching what they watch. Because I almost guarantee you that a lot of us watch the things that we say that we don't like. So, that's what hate watching is. And that's a real thing. It's because, I don't know. I feel like stuff has just gotten out of control, and that's why I'm doing something different. We're going to do some true crime here. We're going to talk about some just weird topics, whatever we can get into. Whatever we can get into. And yes, hello, Mike. Good to see you as usual. Hello, Wolfie. And, I'm glad you're getting help, mom of two men. Yes, because it sounds like you got your hands full. So I'm glad that you have somebody with some like professional experience on that coming to help you out. Because that's, that it sounds like that might take a little bit off of your shoulders. Because that's definitely, that's always hard. There's a lot of people that are having I don't know. I have no words anymore for it. And that's what I've said. Like, I have nothing to add to the drama. I don't want to add it to it. Like, I'm not going to put myself into the drama just so I can build a channel, because I see a lot of that going on too, which I don't have any respect for, to be honest. Especially when, you're putting yourself into drama that doesn't involve you, and then you're complaining when somebody comes back at you. And I'm not talking about, like, I'm talking about, because every day, how many times do we wake up and in your recommended is another like 5 or 6 channels talking about the same thing? And I guess, like, at one point maybe I was considered one of those, but my intention was never just to do drama. I mean, I didn't think I'd be any good at it anyway, but I had a lot to say. I wanted to put my 2 cents out there about what I was feeling and what I was seeing. It's so juvenile to do that, in my opinion. The real world, we compartmentalize our friendship. Yes. Yes. Let me make sure I'm reading that correctly, though. Why, if our friendships, if the person doesn't like, right. And, additionally to that, though, is that, how many of us actually agree with everything that our friends do? We don't, right? And we don't just drop our friends just because they did something crappy. And we talk, like, a lot of us, most of us, probably talk to them. They're like, hey, I didn't agree when you did that. And I also am 100% for the fact that not everything needs to be public. So if I've talked to somebody privately, if I've talked to somebody privately, I don't feel that everything needs to be done on YouTube. Not everybody needs to know, because I feel like, not everybody needs to know about that stuff. So, a lot of times people are like, well, why don't you say something? Well, you don't know that I haven't. And I'm not the type of person that's going to share, like, my personal conversations with people, because what's the point? What's the point in doing that? There's no point. But, and I hate that other thing too, people demanding receipts for things. Don't get me started. I'm not going to share anybody else's stuff, but I have. Like, just trust me when I've said I have talked to people privately, but I don't need to come on here and talk about that. And in real life, we don't behave that way. At least I don't. There are a lot of my friends that do things that I really don't like, and I'm like, why would you do that? That's really awful. But it doesn't mean that I just, completely disown them and say that they're, like, evil and a bad person, or because we're all human, we make mistakes. And as a creator, yes, you do get held to a different standard, as I believe you probably should, because you're the one up here, you have the influence, you have the platform. But at the same time, like, does that really make sense? Are these realistic? Right. Right. And I agree with you without borders. I totally think that that's legitimate, because in real life, we don't dump friends over that kind of stuff. We put up with, like, much worse in our real lives because we care about somebody. And I think the same goes here. A lot of us have gotten close. A lot of us have, talked outside of here, or, you know what I mean? We consider each other friends. And everybody likes to forget that they probably react similarly. So let's say you've got something going on in your personal life. You've just experienced, like, something really traumatic in your personal life. And all of a sudden, people are coming at you constantly with just the cruelest things. And you snap. And then everybody freaks out, like you're just the most horrible person for snapping. Well, in your real life, have you ever, been on the edge, and then have somebody, people keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you? Do you not snap? Like, are you, like, I feel like you'd have to be a robot not to. And I'm not saying that that's a justification for people's behaviors. I think that, if that's the case, maybe you should take a break from the internet for a little bit. But, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't going to do that, because a lot of people consider this their support system. It's complicated. It's complicated, and I just, I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't want to see things, like, in a black and white fashion. I think if people can forget, they just leave the channel. Right. If they don't agree with something. That's right. That's right. And if I don't like something, I just won't watch. Or sometimes I will, sometimes I can't help myself. But I don't know. It's like, it's bizarre, guys. It's the weirdest thing. And I don't know when it ends. I don't know when it ends. I don't know why people feel that they can't watch people that they like. I don't know why people, like, feel that, why. How many times have you guys seen recently? Because I've seen it more times than I can count now. You're in a chat, and somebody who, frequents a chat that is of the opposing camp comes in, and they don't even have to say anything. They just say hello. and you see like 5 or 6 people being like, why are you here? Don't you support so and so? Are you not supporting that person now? Did you switch teams? Like, why does it have to be like that? Why does it have to be like that? Why can't people be where they want to be and be themselves and, use YouTube as an entertainment? Like, we're not all like, in an army or something where we have to, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, no. And this doesn't like, I'd be lying if I said that, it really depends who it is. But, I've seen some people in some chats of people that have done some pretty awful things to me. And I see them still in there. And I'm like, it's sometimes, depending on who it is, I'll be like, oh, well, whatever. But who cares? When push comes to shove, guys, I have no right to care about that. Because if you enjoy a creator, you enjoy a creator. So, it doesn't matter because my issues aren't your issues. And, same goes the other way too. And I was thinking like a lot of people have put pressure. They're like, well, if you cared about this person, you wouldn't go into that chat. And at first I was kind of buying into it and I was like, okay, well that makes sense. But this is YouTube. It's not real life. And I'm not, yeah, it's too much. Yeah. And that's how it should be without borders. You should make your own decisions and go where you want. And I have the utmost respect for folks who do that. I really do. What bothers you is when someone says they want to stop doing something themselves. Yes, the hypocrisy, Mom of Two Men. Absolutely. That is so rampant. And you see it all the time. And that's what I'm also saying, though. How many times have we heard lately that creators like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do drama. I want to do other stuff. And then, they're always that the next live that they have, and I mean, I probably am pointing the finger at myself right now, but I do have other content planned. I know you guys know that. So I'm just in the meantime, I'm kind of like just doing a few more of these just for chit chat because it's what's on my mind. But I guess I'm pointing the finger at myself a little bit right now too. So that's okay. That's okay. But I admit it. But they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do this. Or they're like, oh, well, I'm taking a break from the internet or whatever. But, they're not really because they're all, people just don't know how to tell the truth on here at all. And it bothers me. It really does, because I like to think that I'm a person, I have integrity, and it's just stuff. The things some people lie about, though, are things that, like, you're like, why would someone even feel the need to lie about that? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm tired of the hypocrisy, too. I really, really am. And, it's like, people expect people, like, something bad happens to them, right? So somebody snaps and they behave badly towards somebody, and then that person decides that they have to go at it 1,000 times worse. Well, no, see, if somebody does something shitty to you, right? I would feel bad if, you were like, you kind of were dealing with it, but let it go. But when you're coming on here to respond to that person saying that you're going to do the same thing, but worse, why would I feel sorry for you in that case? Because I don't. You're just perpetuating it. You're continuing it. Neither one of you are in the right if you're going to do that stuff too. And when does it stop? And that's what's so frustrating to me. What other people think of me is none of my business, or else they attack me about it. That's right. And that's what I was trying to say, though. I do appreciate that some people tell me what people say, because I'm the kind of person that I'm kind of a pacifist. I'm not really confrontational, or else you like push me to my wit's end. And I'm not going to bring that on here, because I do. I mean, I can get angry. And sometimes I say things I don't mean, but that's not the self that I'm trying to portray on here. I'm trying to build a YouTube channel where I can do some serious topics. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this, but what I'm not doing is I'm not trying to build a drama channel. I'm trying to build a community where we can do all sorts of things and see what works, see what people like. And hey, Navigator, good to see you. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not in here claiming that I want to be the next drama channel on here. I'm not good at it. Why would I want to do that? I suck at it. I just don't have it in me to do what it takes to do that. But I don't need to. I can do other stuff, and that's what I'm going to do. But I still have feelings about the stuff that I'm seeing going on, because I've said it to a couple people I talked to privately. I'm just like, I'm bored. Like, the stuff that's going on here is just over and over. It doesn't matter where you go. It's the same stuff. People saying the same things and then not following through with what they're saying, and then just continuing. And I'm just like, dude, do you guys hear yourselves? Because I'm tired of it. Do something different. Do something different. I'm glad to see that some people actually are. There are some people that are actually doing something different, and we should be supporting that. We should. And I think that's great, because I am so tired of this song and dance. So tired. Like at first, sometimes it's entertaining a little bit, right? Like especially if it's not like too out of hand. I feel that way too. We've all watched it, and nobody has to feel bad about saying that because we're all here. Um, yeah, Tiffany, I always love the way your name is spelled. Yeah, they do get territory. You're right. You're right, Tiffany. You're right, and a lot of people don't want to admit that. A lot of people don't want to admit that at all. They want to they want to say that they don't care, but they do care. And it's obvious. And people then feel like my dad is tomorrow night, Gladys. Tomorrow, yeah, today's what, the 15th? Yeah, 16th, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, that is tomorrow. But we're not going to do, he's not just going to come on for one. Just tomorrow is the one about the parole board, but he's also going to do one about, yeah, Tiffany, exactly. And and I've admitted that though, like I am human. So sometimes if somebody just did something really awful and I see somebody I like in their chat, I might, I'll be like, really? But at the same time, I don't care because it's your right to go wherever you want. You shouldn't have to you shouldn't stop enjoying what you like just because I had a bad experience. That's not fair. If you enjoy a creator, enjoy that creator. Who am I to say otherwise? And even if you want to talk about me, I mean, whatever, that's your right to do too, I guess. I mean, as I'm up here, I do open myself up for criticism, and I've seen it. I've seen people talk about, but I've seen people do it in a way that's okay. Like, I've had people be like, just say things that are like, B did this, and I didn't really think that she handled that correctly. And, at first, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's not right. But, whatever, that's their opinion. And they can have that opinion. If that's how they feel, then that's fine. But that's what I'm saying, guys. It's people do get really territorial. They think that because you're in a live of somebody that they don't get along with, that you don't support them anymore. And that's not the case. That's not the case. It's just, why are we expecting subscribers to take on our problems as their own loyalty? Because that's not fair. That's not fair. You shouldn't be made to just watch certain channels. Because if you're not comfortable with listening to a creator talk about somebody that you like, you can just, not watch that at that time. But that doesn't mean that you can't watch that person at all. A lot of the times we talk about all sorts of things, and I just see it happen a lot. And I see the fact that I've had people email me asking or telling me that they've been afraid to say hello to me in a particular chat because they don't know how that creator feels about me. That's like concerning. I don't want anybody to have to feel that way. I don't want anybody to feel that they can't say hello to somebody just because, the person that they're in that chat, they don't know how people feel about them. You should just say, do what you do, and if I see it all the time too, Kellyanne, all the time. All the time. And I'm very excited for my dad's live tomorrow too. Yes. So I'm just biding my time with this. That's why I changed the title of it. I'm like, I'm going to do chit chat. I'm going to do some true crime later tonight. But for now, I just wanted to do some chit chat because I woke up with some bizarre stuff up on my YouTube, and I was like, "What is going on here? What is going on?" And that's the other thing. So, as a creator or even as subscribers, you don't control what other people do. So, I might choose to go into a chat, and then that person the next day might do something really terrible, and then all of a sudden you are supporting that, even though that happened after you were, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And people are just like, playing detective, trying to like figure out who people's names are and where they are and, what chats they go to. And they like take all these screenshots and probably have like files on their phone for people. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy, guys. Like, why do we care that much? Why can't people just watch what they want to watch? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I guess if you're a friend of that person's and, maybe that I don't know. I have no like justification for it. Yeah, Tiffany, I'm the same way because I write novels. Like I hate being confined to those, like just a certain amount of letters that I can use. And half the time, by the time I'm done typing it, it's like way past that point, or I didn't realize I was behind and I've sent it and the people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh no, that's not what I meant. Yeah, Michelle, it's like, it's like you're off of YouTube for a day and all of a sudden, like, everything's all hell has broken loose. And then there are times where I don't even subscribe to half the people because, like I said, I wake up every day and in my recommended are another 4 or 5 channels of people talking about this that I've never seen before. And I'm just like, okay, but they might be names that I recognize, from chats and stuff, but it's like everybody's starting a channel now. And you know what, whatever, cool. You do you start your channel, but just make sure you're coming in here for the right reasons. And, if you're going to mention people's names, if you're going to talk about people, don't expect not to get talked about back. That's how it works. Nobody should be coming after people for ways that are inappropriate. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with anybody doing anything real life. I don't like the fact that there are, people's children shouldn't be mentioned. I don't like that. I don't like people's, law enforcement being called and people, like, guys, come on. Like, why can't we just talk about what people do on YouTube? There's enough of that on here. Like, the creators that everybody likes to hate, there's enough to go around on that. There's enough that you could listen to just from what they say on YouTube. And y'all can, talk as much about that as you want. But, when we're going into people's past, we're looking at people's criminal records. We're looking at people's parents' criminal records. That's bullshit, guys. Stop that. Who cares? Like, why do we care about that? Like, are you that bored? Honestly, I don't like it. And then it's like, you think people, you want to feel bad for the person that it happened to, but then they do it 10 times worse back. And you're like, well, okay. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm just done. I'm done. The algorithm puts things I don't sub to on purpose. Oh, that, of course they do, Michelle. That's how it works. So it's like, I'm getting all these things and I click on them because I'm curious. Sometimes I found some channels that I really like through that feature. I have. And I like to give everybody a chance because I like to support, as many people as I can. And not that I'm a very influential channel, but, I do like to watch new things because I'm bored, quite frankly, with a lot of the stuff going on. But a lot of the time, it's like, as of last night, my YouTube, from my perspective last night, was very calm and boring. But then I woke up and found out that there was like a bunch of nonsense going on in places that I didn't even know existed. So that's the other thing. You kind of have to have a freaking research team to do drama here because half the time there's stuff that goes on other people's channels. Cause like, you'll have people that are like, well, I haven't been on YouTube. I haven't been doing anything. And then they've been in chats all over the place, starting stuff. And I heard that today and I was like, okay, well, whatever, like, but why lie about that? You have, maybe you haven't been on your channel, but you've been on here and then they have people that say that they've never said things about X, Y, or Z when, I've literally seen them say things about X, Y, and Z. Or they say that other people have said something and I've never, but that's a different story. Cause maybe if I didn't see it, then, well, in this case, I'm fairly certain that, yeah, I'm just annoyed. And I'm not like right now, guys, I promise you, I'm not talking about any large channel at all. I'm talking about somebody else. Who has annoyed me a lot lately, but maybe that's just me being salty. I don't know. I'm not salty. That's not a good word. Or just annoyed because I'm just tired of this crap. And it's just, there are some people that I just feel like come here to just keep it going. And no, why would you want to? Hi, Peach. You uploaded your funny horror jump scare video. Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, Peach. I am. I am okay. I'm actually excited about the way I'm taking my channel. I'm very excited to have something to offer that isn't drama. Hi, Ava. Welcome. Yeah, people accused you in 2 chats of being someone I'm not. Right. Yeah, I get that. I've actually been cloned. At least 3 times that I know of. I've been sent screenshots of myself. And anybody who knows me or knows how I write in chat should have known that it's not me. Because I don't write like that. I do not write like that. And I don't think a lot of people bought into it, except for the one person that I was speaking badly of in that, who happened to be a sub. It wasn't even a creator. And they were really hurt by that, about whatever this person said. And I was like, I don't even write like that. So why bother? Like, what is your purpose? But the purpose is to craft a screenshot that they can send around and then make it look like, you said all of these things. And it's not hard to clone somebody. It's not. I could make my name any one of you right now and make my picture yours. And it would take less than 2 minutes to do. I would never do that because why? I don't want to do that. That's why would I want to do that? Because if you click their channel, you'll see it doesn't link to, yours. And a lot of them are like just made and stuff, but I don't know. I have too much. I don't have enough time. Who has the time for that crap? Who does? I don't. And yes, I appreciate everybody that does come here and support me, because my channel took a major hit from the stuff that's going on about me lately that wasn't even true. And I had to make that decision though. I had to make a decision of, should I respond? Should I react to that? Because I want to like shout from the rooftops. I want to show all of the receipts that people have asked of me, because I have them. I can prove absolutely every single thing that anybody said completely false. I could. But I'm not going to, because I shouldn't have to prove myself to anybody. If people want to support me and they've been here and they want to actually take the time to watch my lives and see what I'm about, or give it some time, they'll see what I'm about. And I just have to trust that. It might take a while. It might take a week. It might never happen. Who knows? But, when the dust settles, I mean, people will see that I'm not at all what people have said about me on here. And, that's going to be on them for assuming and taking what somebody else says as fact without looking for themselves. So I'm not. And I'm grateful for the people who, encouraged me not to react, because it's hard not to, especially when people are saying stuff that like you literally have receipts for, and you're like, dude, excuse me. Like, I don't know. And I shouldn't have to do that. Plus, for me to prove some of that stuff, I'd have to bring other people into it. I'd have to show my personal communications with them. And I'm not going to do that, because if you contact me, that's private. There's no point. There's no point. Yeah. Well, Peach, I do, and I don't care. It depends. It depends. There's some things that I do care about, like, what went on with me, because I didn't want to bring that aspect of my life into YouTube. First of all, there was that. And then, when I see people, saying that I'm evil, whatever that means, or I don't really know where people are, sourcing that opinion, but, it's more annoying. Some of it's just funny though. But, my life and my struggles are not content or conspiracy theory. So that was what what upset me. But I'm over it, but I'll forgive, but I don't forget. And I just keep people at arm's length. I trust the people that I trust, and there are some people on here that have had information or that information about me for a very long time, who don't particularly care for me and have been angry at me in the past. And you want to know what? They didn't share a dang thing. Never, not once. My information was safe with them. Even then they were mad. And that just tells me who people on here that are real are. And they know who they are. And I appreciate that. They might not like me, but I appreciate that. Because apparently not everybody has that kind of ethical standards on here. So yeah. You kind of, and Peach, I was thinking about that. It's like, people always say, they're like, oh, you have to have tough skin to be here. And I agree with that, and I don't. I think the way I do agree with that is that if you're going to come on here and you're going to talk, especially if you're going to talk about other people, but lately it's if you're a sub in general and you're seen in a particular chat, people will talk about you for that as well, which is ridiculous. But yeah, and it's like, for that, yeah, you have to understand that that's going to happen. But at the same time, I don't think anybody deserves some of the stuff that's gone on, especially lately, like the, like anything that's like real life or things like that. I don't think that you're, just coming on YouTube subjects, I don't think that that's okay. That should never be okay. And I've had people that are like, you're quite crazy for bringing your dad onto this, but you know what? I'm okay with that, because if people want to go and they want to harass my family, they want to do that, then you're just making yourself look stupid and crazy. Because I'm not harassing anybody else's family. I'm not contacting people's families. I'm not contacting people's, friends and law enforcement and, child protective services. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not even going to people's channels and leaving rude comments. I don't do any of that to anybody on here. Nobody. So I would hope that people would have that respect for me and my family. And, if they don't, they don't. It's not my dad's first rodeo with crazy people on social media. He's well aware of the stuff that goes on here. I've told him, I've made him very aware. And I was very hesitant to do this. I was going to do this earlier, but I chose not to. I even had the thumbnail made. Actually, the thumbnail is what I have behind as my background right now. And it was a live that I had scheduled back in January. But when everything started happening, and I brought that on myself in some ways because I did make videos about a particular creator who, I had some things I wanted to say about that. And I've said everything I need to say about them. I am not going to be discussing her or anyone else at this point in time, because I have nothing left to add about it. And I don't want to do that. That's not what I want my channel to be. I don't want to alienate people like that because I have no issue with people. I want people to feel comfortable coming into my chat, no matter where they like to chat. I don't care I don't care what chats I see you in. I really don't. I don't even really care what you do in other chats. I just care that you're respectful here. And, that's all I ask. I really don't care. I don't care if you're like a jerk somewhere else. I mean, honestly, as long as you're respectful here, and I ask that of my subscribers as well, is that, if you're in the chat and you see somebody come in here that, is a frequency chat that you don't care for, just don't attack them here. All right. Like, we all can get along. It's possible, I think a lot of people are really quick to judge others and, and also, like, if you've seen somebody on here that's in my chat that maybe has said something unkind about a creator that you really like, I respectfully ask you to keep that out of my chat as well. Because that has nothing to do with me or the content that I'm talking about. And like, you guys are welcome to talk about that somewhere where maybe a creator doesn't mind that. But for here, I want this to be drama free. 100%. Like, I don't think this community needs another drama channel. I don't think this community needs another person talking about anybody. I just don't. And I have no dog in this fight. Like, I mean, I guess I kind of do with some people, but I'm not going to like put my issues with people out into the open on here because it shouldn't affect anybody here. It doesn't. Yeah. And no, Pete, you're right. It is weird to contact people's families and stuff. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, Mama Two Man, I had to think long and hard about whether I wanted to even make a channel. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, I know what I am and I know what I'm not. And, when I close this laptop, it doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is that, when it goes to a place where, people's families are being contacted, people are, talking about children and doing stuff like that because they know that that's what's gonna, they know that's what's gonna, like, get a response, that people's looks. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come into my chat to tell me how boring I am and to get out of the community and nobody wants me here and all sorts of other things. And, it's just more annoying because, like, here you are in my chat, saying stuff like that. And a lot of them have names that are like, makes them look like a big bully. And I'm just like, you're taking the time out of your life to come into the chat of somebody that you think is boring to spam my chat with how boring I am. So make that make sense, but thank you for contributing to my chat, contributing to my numbers, my algorithm. It's much appreciated. You're just helping me. It's annoying. I don't want to see that. Who has the time? Because I don't. Yeah, go to your room for a timeout. I've had to put some people in a timeout lately. And it's like the more you try to do something different that, is real content or away from the drama, the more people try to bring you back in. I've noticed that. I've definitely noticed that. And I encourage other creators on here. Like, I know that drama is what brings a lot of people here, but the people that matter, the subscribers that, really have a lot to offer and that are, really going to go hard for you and be your supporters. And, they'll still come to your chat no matter what you're talking about, if you have that kind of personality. And, it might be less people, but I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it time because, stuff doesn't happen overnight. But if somebody really supports you, they're going to come on here and they're going to be in your chat. They're going to participate no matter what you're talking about because they like you. So I'm glad to see that I've seen some lives scheduled that are not drama from some creators lately. And I really hope that they do those. And because I think that there are people here that have a lot to offer that, they're more than just drama. They could do more than just drama. Some people, if I'm honest, I don't feel that way about everybody, but I do feel that way about many people, and I'd like to see that because I'm bored. I want some true crime drama. I want some like actual like fun conversations, and I also don't want to just come on here and stream for you guys. Um, because that I don't know. I don't think I can do that. I'd have to talk. I'm the kind of person that probably talks during movies. I do talk during movies. I'm very annoying. I'm like the worst. So, that probably wouldn't work. But I am gonna come on here. I'm gonna try to stream a few things that I found. Like I said, they're smaller creators, so I don't see why they'd have an issue with me streaming them as long as I, credit them and drop their link in the chat. Because they're small channels, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to grow. That's just the impression I get. So we're going to be doing some true crime. We're going to be talking about like violence in schools specifically. Tonight, I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Columbine massacre and like the truth behind that. And just because there was a lot of misconceptions on that. The media made that case into something that is completely false to fit a narrative, to go against certain music and video games, and also to cover up some mistakes that they made. And that's just my opinion, but there's facts to back it up. So I'm definitely going to be streaming some stuff with that. My dad has actually some content about that case that I'm going to be streaming as well for you guys, because I think that he has some interesting perspective. There's also a man named Jack Levin, who is a frequent at the dinner guest at my parents' house, who he looks like Einstein. You might recognize him from some true crime documentaries. He's in many of them, but he also has some interesting points about that case and many cases. But yes, I love Jack Levin. He is a really nice guy, really interesting, really smart dude. But he literally looks like Einstein. You can't miss him. You can't mistake him. But you know Jack Levin? Yes, Rodigal. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He's a very lovely guy. He's been at my parents' house for dinner. And my dad can't handle himself. Kellyanne, exactly. So my dad has, he's all over the world and stuff, and he has people make fake social media profiles about him all the time. He doesn't have social media. He's not on Facebook. I think he might have like an Instagram, but I don't think he's ever posted on it. But people do make fake Instagrams of him. He does have a YouTube channel, but I don't think he has any subscribers. And he has one video on it, and it was a message to the graduating class of 2020. Because what my dad does, right. And I've had actually, believe it or not, Kellyanne, I've had family members of people that my dad has, chosen not to parole, find me on Facebook and send threatening messages. So I guess it isn't unique to YouTube. I mean, he's pissed off many people in his life, and I want to have him talk about some of those cases that he's gotten some major blowback on his, the parole board's decisions, because obviously, like, his vote alone doesn't make that decision. I forget how many people are on it, but it has to be, the majority vote. So he's definitely gotten some public backlash, whether it be from like the victim's family or the inmate's family about, the choice. And that's what I'm excited about, because I'm going to have him, I'm going to tell him, let's see. I actually only have a few people blocked, but yeah, I don't blame you for going on the, I don't blame you at all though, because actually, a lot of people should remember that there is a block button. So if somebody's bothering you, you don't have to put up with that. You can just block them. I probably should do that, but yeah. Right. Let's see. Oh, she had Professor. Yeah, he is. He is a professor. That's right. Rodigal. What was it? Northeastern, maybe. If I'm wrong, I might be wrong. I think it's Northeastern. I'm almost positive it's Northeastern. But but that's okay. If like on here, it's probably justified. Unfortunately, I feel like if you tried to tell somebody in real life about what's going on YouTube, they do look at you like you're crazy and probably should should seek talking to somebody. But it's so true. It's so true though, because it's like this crap does happen on the internet. And even my dad has asked me why I put up with it and why I would want to do this. And I think my response to him is because I can. Because I really just don't care. I might get upset about things like very briefly, but I get over things really quickly. And ultimately, guys, as long as people aren't, I don't know, I can take it. That's not what bothers me. I'm not going to tell you guys what bothers me or what pushes my buttons, but nothing anybody here has done has pushed my buttons to what they would like. on here. And I'm not going to tell you what does, because I'm human. I have things that, upset me. But yes, so tomorrow I'm going to talk to him, and we're going to figure out some of the cases. Like I said, I'm not sure if he'll be able to use real names, because I want him to actually give you facts, and a lot of it's confidential. Because he gets all the case files, he gets the discovery, he gets everything. So anything that there is to have about a criminal case, he gets it. So, I don't think he can actually use real names with some of that, but I want him to give you guys all of the facts. So, because what's going to happen is he's going to give you all the facts. He's going to talk about all that sort of stuff. And then I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and you guys are going to get to vote whether you want to parole that inmate or not. And then he's going to let you guys know if that inmate, whether they were paroled or not, first of all, and if they had reoffended or not. Because I want you guys to see how hard those decisions can be. Because a lot of it, you think to yourself, you're like, well, that guy murdered somebody, so that's an easy decision. You don't want him out. But there's a lot of things that you need to consider, and it's not an easy decision all the time. And some of the time the decisions are, it's picking it's hard. It's hard. And a lot of it is about ethics. A lot of it is about having those strong values and morals. A lot of it is being able to keep an open mind and, take in all of the factors. So, exactly. Yeah, 20 people are interested. That's right, Kellyanne. Actually, I get decent amounts of views. So a lot of people rewatch me, I think. So if you're rewatching and you're just hearing this now, hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to do some fun stuff here. And I'm going to be giving away an autographed copy, at least one autographed copy of my dad's book on the parole board. And he has some other ones, but we're going to save the other books for when we talk about something else. Because I actually want him to give you guys his take on the Watts case as well, because he has a really, really interesting take. And actually, that was what I originally wanted him to come on and talk about. But yeah, so I want him to brush up on that. But he does have a really, really interesting stuff to say about Chris Watts, because Chris Watts really is a very unique kind of case, especially with him, with the information that we've been given anyway, trying to profile him and put him into a specific category, which usually most people can fit into. He doesn't fit perfectly into anything. So he has a book called Heinous Crimes, which will be basically the focal point of what we will be discussing Chris Watts with. And yes, so tonight I will be, and Rhoda Gal, I'm not even sure. I mean, it's just he doesn't quite fit into, but yes. So but tonight, and he also, like I said, has some a really interesting perspective on the Columbine massacre and the dynamic that went on with that. And I know that a lot of it is unpopular opinion for it, but I've looked into the facts of stuff, and I actually can't help but agree with him on it. But I remember when I heard his perspective on it years ago, probably back in 2012, I was like, no, what, that I was like, I've never heard that before. But now that I've read all the books and had all that and looked into the actual the files, it's called the oh my God, is it called the 11K? I believe it's called the 11K. It's basically the discovery, or the report that came out. It's 11,000 pages. But you can request it. And I think it was made available, not recently, but fairly recently. So, yeah. So the news, when I've looked at all the facts, I think my dad was spot on, in hindsight. And now I'm like, oh my God. So I want to share all that with you. So we're going to be streaming that tonight. I'm going to be streaming a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to have to do commentary in it, obviously. But I'm going to try to get the sound issue fixed, because I tried to stream that with you guys yesterday, the parole board segment, but the sound was really terrible. So I kind of felt bad. So I almost want to stream it again for you guys. It's a 10-minute thing, because apparently a lot of people couldn't hear it. And that made me sad, because it was the 10-minute one. Because I have to figure out, I'm going to figure that out though, how to actually do the chat while I'm doing that. But yes, I might play that again tonight too, because he has a segment. It's about 10 minutes long. I uploaded it to my channel, so it is on my channel. And it is a 10-minute segment of basically he was interviewed for Yahoo News, and it it was about the parole board and his experience on it. And yes, it was where I got the footage for the trailer that I did. But it's like it's more in depth. That I didn't want to use it all in my trailer because I'm like, I don't want to. I wanted to make it something more my own, but and yes, Mike, my dad is a great guy. He really, really is. And my whole fear though was like that. I've had a lot of struggles in my life. Like I've had a difficult life, but that's what I didn't want to bring that onto YouTube for, because I didn't want people to like judge him for it. Like, you can stuff like that has no face. Like, it's not my dad's. I made bad decisions. I had every opportunity available to me, and I chose to, because of my own issues, make some not so great choices in life. But I've always felt like I don't want to like embarrass him, his professional name, and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I was a little bit upset, a little bit more because of what was said. How does what make me feel about what? Kellyanne, I'm sorry. I'm not about what I'm talking about. I'm confused. But no, it did. I always feel like the black sheep. So, I feel like a lot of the time, there's a lot of judgment that goes onto that, because they're like, well, your dad is like, this person, like go and Google his resume. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and he's done all these things, but your child like had these kinds of struggles. Well, yeah, I did. I mean, I was adopted. So there's that. So I've always had that issue that has been, I've never felt like I belonged. I've had some not great stuff happen in my life that, it wasn't my parents' fault. And I've just like, I've had to come to terms with that. I didn't have a relationship with my family for many, many years, because there was a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of stuff, feelings. But in the past, like 4 or 5 years, I've really made the effort to, because I've had years, like a couple years here and there where I've been doing really well in life. So those have been the times that I've really like, gotten my dad and I, like I used to job shadow. I used to go to the parole board hearings with him, some victim impact statements with him, when I was in college. And, and then we grew distant when I started making bad choices, but I've been doing well consistently since 2017. So I'm really like, he's proud of me. He's proud of me for doing the YouTube stuff too. He's really excited about this, because why not me? Why can't I have a YouTube channel? I never thought I'd do really well at it. And I guess the reason I came in this community is because I'm part of this community. I didn't come in here because I wanted to, get involved in drama. I didn't come in here for those reasons. I was trying to do a different take on what was being done. I was trying to look at things through more of a psychological point of view, like facts, looking at behaviors, not at people as a whole, because I don't think that you can always judge a person by their behaviors, because there's a lot of factors that go into why somebody behaves the way they do. Some outside factors, some of which are in their control, some not sometimes. It really depends. And I think that human beings as a whole are more complicated than just the behaviors, especially when you're just seeing it on YouTube. So I didn't want to talk about like people. I wanted to talk about the behaviors. But that didn't go the way I planned. For a lot of reasons. And if you've watched my other lives, you know how that all went down. But now that I'm not, I have my loyalty is to my subscribers. My loyalty is to the people that support me every day. And that's what matters to me. I am not going to take on another creator's cause. I'm not going to put my subscribers in. I'm not doing that. I'm doing my own thing. I might be friendly with other creators, because I am friendly, not so much anymore, but I don't have a problem with anybody, but I've talked to some people here and there, and I'm going to be friendly. I support various people, but I'm not going to, building a channel, it's not worth it for that. It's not worth feeling like, somebody, you need to do it on your own merit. It's very important. I learned that, like if people are going to come to your channel, they're going to come to your channel. The problem is that, hi, Dave. The problem is that a lot of people don't know that you have a channel. Or else I like the bee puns. A lot of my stuff, I try to do bee puns, Afa. So, but with a lot of that stuff, it's like, you want to build your channel. A lot of it has to do with like networking and collaborations, but you know how a lot of creators get about people dropping their links and stuff like that. A lot of people, I think somebody used the word earlier, the word was territorial, and I don't think they're wrong on that. I see it. And the problem with that is that a lot of us in this community, like we do share a lot of subs. And That's just how it is. And people should be allowed to watch whoever they want to watch and support whoever they want to watch. But we've seen the weird stuff that goes on here. So, anybody who's in this chat or listening right now understands why that's become so ridiculous. But, yeah. So especially when like the algorithm, you're just starting out, the algorithm isn't putting out your channel. I've had people as early, like as recently as yesterday, come in and say, I had no idea you had a channel. But you know what? It's not worth having somebody drop your link all the time. Um, it's just not, because a lot of the time, especially in this community, I don't want to feel indebted, or, I can't do that, because I don't like the stuff that's going on here. I don't like it. And I can't pretend that I support things that I don't. It's not a good position to be in. And I'm just going to do what I do. And I took a massive hit for it. So it just shows you that even the people that do come and join your channel, when somebody does that, the minute that person has a problem with you, they're gone. They're not there for you. And the people that are here now are the ones that are here for me. And if I grow as a channel, I grow. If I don't, I don't. And I really do. I'm hoping that tomorrow, and having my dad on here and doing some different stuff in true crime will maybe bring some new people over to I don't know, to enjoy something else that isn't just drama. That's what I want. But if it is what it is, I can't make everybody happy. But that's what I'm saying. If you haven't subscribed to me, if you want to hit that subscribe button, I would love to have you here. That would be awesome. If you've recently unsubscribed from me, which, I would hope that maybe if you wanted to give me another chance, see what I'm about. If you just took somebody else's word for things, just keep your eye on me. You'll see for yourself. People will see for themselves who I am. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. And I love the fact that I do have some of the same people in chat all the time, because I've gotten to know a lot of you. And I've, really gotten to have that connection. And that's what I like about having a small chat, though, is that I can acknowledge everybody. I can talk to you guys. We can have these discussions. And that becomes harder as the channel becomes bigger or has more people in chat. So I'm not going to look at that as a downside either, because, it's not a race. It's not a race. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm going to build my channel at the pace that I do. I think the thing that bothers me, though, is that a lot of people in this community like to make fun of people's numbers. They like to use that as like an insult, or like, your worth or your appeal as a person is based on the numbers that you get. So if somebody was to look at my numbers, they would think that I'm the biggest loser on the planet. I don't think that's the case. I think that I'm quite good at what I do. I think I can carry a live quite well. I think I speak quite well. I think I'm articulate. I think I can, speak very eloquently, intelligently. Not to stroke my own ego here, but I do. I think I feel like I can come across well educated and informative, and I can go on tangents too. I have ADD, so sometimes I go down these weird tangents and rabbit holes and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that I have a lot of good qualities. I have a lot of things that I can share with people, and my numbers aren't who I am. Just because I don't have like a skyrocketing sub count or views or whatever, doesn't mean I'm not interesting. Doesn't mean I don't have a lot to offer. In fact, a lot of that means is that people, talking crap affects people's opinions that much in this community, or they don't know that I'm here to begin with. And that's all I can say. That's all I can say about it. I'm not going to take it personally. Your numbers and your analytics don't represent, in this community anyway, does not represent your success as a channel. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Because I've sometimes found myself being like, well, what do other people have that I don't? The truth is nothing. That's the truth. I mean, maybe I'm not meant to do drama. I can't come on here and be like ratchet like that. It's not in my nature. I don't even think I could act that way if I tried. So I'm not going to do that. But I think that I have a lot to offer that people would like. And if you like to watch that kind of stuff too, that's fine. I do. So, I don't know. I feel like this has just been brought into like this whole, like almost like a social experiment that's just gone way too far and taken way too seriously. And I don't know what it's going to take to stop, but that's why I said, not another drama live. Well, that's the reality. People can say all they want. They can say, I don't want to be part of the drama anymore. I'm not going to keep it going. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to do real content. Okay, well, do it. Please do it, because I hear that all the time and I'm not seeing it. It's actually the channels that don't say that are I'm seeing having lives with content popping up. So, practice what you preach. If you really are done with the drama, you really don't want to do this anymore, you really just want to move on and have your channel, then do just that. Move on, have your channel, do the content that you want to do. You're not required to respond to people. You're not required to clap back. You don't need to do that. And if you are doing that, then that is what your channel is. So own it. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Don't say you're not a drama channel, that you don't want to do drama, but then constantly clap back to everything, because that makes you a clapback channel, and you should just own it, because clearly people like it and you're good at it, or whatever, or you're not. I don't know. I'm just talking in general. Reporting on the drama and being the drama are two different things. Dark Magician, you are so spot on with that, and actually I couldn't have put that better if I tried. It's so true. It's so true. And people here have lost sight of that. They really, really have. They've lost sight of that, because I think that it's taken, like, guys, I know that I've said this before, but and she was in here earlier, but Xylee Gets Real has been doing a kind of like a series on this community, actually, from an outsider's perspective, coming in and basically observing and commenting on what she sees here. And let me tell you guys, this is not normal. What goes on in this community is not normal, and we've gotten so used to it that we normalize it. And the term clapback, I hate it too. I know. I was like, with some people, I just wanted to scream from the rooftops. Nobody was even clapping at you. So sit down. Like, just sit down. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I'm back. All right. Composing myself here. But, it is. And a lot of us have lost that self-awareness, even myself, because I'm so used to it here that I think this is normal. But if you go elsewhere on YouTube, guys, this is not normal. This is not normal at all. Yeah, if you want drama, you can, right. And I love having you here, Kellyanne. I appreciate that. And I also want to make that clear, though. It's like, you can come here and say that you don't like drama and still be in drama chats, and I'm not going to judge you for that, because I watch it too. It's just, I'm not going to be part of it. And I think that take several seats, please. Do not pass go. You don't like all of those things. I actually found a really great clip that's going to be at the end of the video I'm making. That's like really funny. And I'm like, I wish I could quote it, but my memory sucks. But it's like a quote from something that's just so funny. And I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it's like, we don't have to become the drama. And every day I wake up and there's new channels coming on here trying to insert themselves into this situation to grow their channel. And I know that's what they're doing. Like, there's no other explanation. And like, it's like, you're picking fights with people and trying to lash out and hurt people purposely. So people start saying your name, and like, why? Don't do that. Like, if you have what it takes to do this, if you want to, like, people think that this community is like, they're going to make it big in here. Well, the problem with that is, guys, is that this community doesn't work the way others do. And eventually you're like, I'm talking in business terms again, you're oversaturating a market that's already oversaturated, taking the value away from what you're doing. There's no demand for what you're doing anymore. The demand has been taken. The main brands have already been established. Like, you're not going to win here. Like, this is, if you want to limit yourself to doing things the way that things get done here, that it's not going to work out, guys. It's just not. There are some people that are already established in the market, in which case, that doesn't apply to them. If you're already established, you have your customer base, you have your customer loyalty and brand awareness, you're fine. You're good to go. You're already here. But, if you're just trying to find your place in the market, you're just launching your brand on here, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Or else you do something different. There's no demand for it. People are already loyal to the products they're loyal to. Or else you do something different or better. It's not going to work out. And I don't really see anybody doing anything better. So I'm sorry. I know that's mean. But I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just the reality of how I see things. And I don't even know half the people that I'm talking about right now. Like, I'm just saying, I wake up every day and there's new channels talking about the same things, and I've never even seen them before. So, it is what it is. And then, people are like, well, the more people that are talking about it, the more the awareness will have. Has the awareness really worked out? Like, can somebody please, like, show me like a report? I need to see some backed up, like, well-cited research on this that has shown that, anything that has gone on here has been at all helpful to this community or anything like that. Because I think a lot of things may start with good intentions, but the reality is, guys, is that it ain't that. This whatever this is, this ain't it. But that's just my opinion. And it affects everybody's moods. It affects subscribers' moods because they feel like they can't, like, I don't feel comfortable going to any chats anymore, really. That's why I don't. Because I can't go to a chat without somebody taking a screenshot and being like, oh my God. Yeah, the knitting community I heard is quite brutal, Michelle. I've heard the knitting community is quite brutal. You know, they like to throw jabs, get it? Hint, hint, at each other. That's right, they do. At least it's not clapping back though. Oh my God. It's like nobody was clapping at you to begin with. So sit down. Yes. But that's the thing though. I don't want to do that. I'm not good at it. So I'm going to do something different. And, I'm not on here to offend anybody, but I'm just speaking the truth. I'm speaking about what I'm saying. Like, that's just how I see things. But I don't feel comfortable. There have been so many chats that I used to feel comfortable in. The minute I go in there, people either ignore me entirely, which I know is on purpose. I've tried to tell myself that it's just me being like paranoid or, internalizing something, but it's not. It's not, because when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's because I've gotten emails saying they're like, I saw you in this chat, but I didn't know if I could say, I was afraid to say hello to you because I didn't know how that creator felt about you, and I really like that creator. And I'm like, well, that's a problem. But I don't fault them for it. I'm not gonna, that sucks that they felt that way. But I really don't, or I don't go somewhere because somebody's gonna say something about it, or they're gonna say that I support something 100% of the time when I don't, and I don't want to deal with that. But it sucks because like this is my social time too. I love coming on here and talking to you guys. I like going into the chats, but I feel like even I can't do that. And I don't want to come on here as anybody but myself. I've had somebody be like, well, why don't you just make an alt? Well, that's not me. I want people to know that this is me. I'm Emma. I want to be Emma. I don't want to be anybody else on here. That I don't. I've made these relationships with people, and they're like, well, you could tell people that's who you are. Well, I don't want to. Why should I do that? I am who I am. But it sucks because in this community, if you do that, and usually I wouldn't care. I'd be like, whatever, people can say what they want. But the problem is that people take that screenshot and then they, send it around, and then you get a whole lot of people unsubscribing overnight. And, when you're trying to build a channel, it's disheartening. You're like, what's the right thing to do here? But that's what I'm saying. And lurkers I want people to feel comfortable here. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, and Dark Magician, I did that the other night. I was like, you know what? I don't care because I'm doing something different. So if people want to really judge me about that in this community, then whatever, that's fine. They can do that. I like who I like. There are some people that do some shitty things on here that I've supported for a year now, and I've just enjoyed their content. I don't like the things they do sometimes, but when they're doing those things, I just don't watch. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that I stopped enjoying their content. I don't like, there's some people who I certainly don't like who they're teaming up with or who they're supporting or whatever, but it doesn't mean I don't watch them. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Like, it's all, there's so many factors they have to take into account. And, in our real lives, do we really behave like this? We don't. If somebody that you care about or you enjoy does something crappy, like, you don't necessarily drop them on the, just because of that. We accept in real life that people are human and are complex and do things for complex reasons. But we can't do that on here for some reason. It's like everybody is on the moral high ground and everybody, when it's just not true. It's just not true. You act like you wouldn't behave a certain way when I know for a fact you do because it's human. And I can rant and rave about it, but this is like, everybody's like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Well, this is one of my last ones on this. Like I said, guys, I have that live tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. I hope to see a lot of you there. I tried to do it at a time that most of you, the people who voted, said that they would be available because, like I said, I want to make this interactive. I don't think my dad's going to be able to see the chat, so I'm going to be the one kind of dictating that. I'm not sure how that works. I might be able to have him. It depends. We're going to do a test drive with StreamYard tomorrow at 2. So he and I are going to figure out how to do all that, and hopefully we can avoid any technical difficulties. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to have, depending on the interest, I'm not sure if I'm going to have people, ask questions in the chat and I'll read it to them, or if I'm going to allow people to come up on panel. If you're interested in coming up on panel and asking a question, please email me, because the last thing that I want is to do this live and to have somebody come up and do something inappropriate, which they probably will try to. So I want to do this ahead of time. I want to be able to send you a link rather than just letting people click a link. So if you'd be interested in asking a question on panel with him, please email me. It is beeplus44@gmail.com. It's also in my about section and scrolling across my screen there. So send me an email and let me know what you're in the UK. So it's Eastern Standard Time. I believe what you guys are like 5 hours ahead, Mrs. B. So it would be quite late. I think like probably around 2 a.m. Maybe not. It's at 7. I don't know. I can't count. I'm not sure what time it would be where you are. It will be quite late, but I am gonna try to do other lives at different times. So, because I know that there are people in like across the pond, mostly in the UK. I think that's usually the only other place that UK and Ireland are where and I have some people from Australia that watch me as well, according to my analytics. So but that's like a whole time difference. That's like a whole other day. But yeah, I like that, Afa. That's what I'm trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to do. I want people to feel comfortable. I don't care where you're from. And I know people don't like me. I don't care if you support Natasha. I don't care if you support Granny's Watching. I don't care if you support Dorothy. I do not care about any of those things. You watch who you like. That's what matters. You should that's all you should care about. You're not going to be judged here for who you like and what chats I've seen you in. I don't even care. I don't even care what you say in those chats, to be honest with you, as long as you are respectful here. And I'm not going to let anybody come at here and go after people for that, because all I ask is that everybody's respectful. I understand that sometimes people have really strong feelings about certain creators and, side eye people that support them. I get that. And that's your right to do. But let's not do that in my chat, because I'm friendly with people from all over. I came from Natasha's community. That's pretty much where I start. Well, not where I started out here, but where I've been in that chat, was in that chat longer than any other. And I'm still friendly with some people who still do support her. And, it's not a crime. It's not a crime to support certain creators, even though people would like it to be sometimes. But, and I know a lot of people, it says a lot about you. I don't necessarily think that, not anymore. I think it's more complicated. So I don't really care what chat I see you in. I don't want to make this about other creators. If you enjoy me as a creator, I want you to feel welcome here. That's the main point. I'm not going to be talking about any other creator like that. I'm not going to be talking badly about Natasha. I'm not going to be talking badly about Granny's Watching. I'm not going to be talking badly about Dorothy, or anybody else that is on the list of like the big ones that people talk about, because I'm not going to do that. There's enough channels that talk about that kind of stuff, and that's not what I want for my channel anyway, because you're just alien. For me, I like people. I like people that come to my chat. I don't want anybody to feel like they're not welcome here just because they enjoy a channel. That's bullshit. That's all. And that includes any other big channels that I'm forgetting. I know there are probably others, but those are like the 3 that I always mainly think of when I think of like all of the stuff that goes on recently. The big ones. But yeah, I just want people to get along, at least in my chat. I can't ask that elsewhere. How other people do their channels is their prerogative. You can, that's for them to do. And how other people behave in those channels is also their business. It's not my business. Just behave here, be nice here, be respectful. That's all I care about. 3 years ago, you never had creators and mods and so many other. Yes, Watts Island creators started to do. Yeah, I agree with you. Mike. And that's what I was trying to say. I think that ultimately it's not a good, guys, I do business marketing. Like if people I've had somebody say that they felt uncomfortable that I was talking about people in such a way. It's just how my brain works. So bear with me, but it's not a good business model to do things like that, Mike. It's not gonna last for smaller ones. I mean, I think once you pass over a certain threshold of amount of subs and brand awareness and stuff like that, you're fine. You can do like whatever you want. You might take a hit if you change your topic, but it's not going to bring you anywhere. It's not going to bring you to a bad place. But if you're a smaller channel, which a lot of the ones here are, it's not going to work out long term. It's just not. And it's also something I don't want to do. Right. I just don't want to. The commentary side, right. Yeah. Dark Magician. It's so true though. This guys, I'm telling you, if you want to know, people are laughing at us, guys. They're laughing at us. Our community is a joke. Our community is the topic of commentary channels, talking about just how bad this has gotten. And a lot of us don't see it, including myself, until until they come on here and they listen and they're like, wow, okay, well, things aren't supposed to be like this. Wow, okay, our behavior really is crossing all of these lines. And yes, the summer wells, that's another beast on YouTube. It is. And yes, I would actually also, I saw some people in Xylie's chat recommending the creators involved in the Summer Walls case, and I second that. I think that is also a trauma community that needs its day on the internet to be. I thought so. You have the same picture there. Yes, you just changed your name there. The adorable fire demon. That is a very adorable fire demon, if that's what the picture is, because it is very cute. Yeah, right. I agree, though. I agree. Where are seeing this? I haven't seen it. You haven't seen anything like what? The commentary community saying stuff. There's a channel called Xylie Gets Real, I believe, and she's been doing something called like the Chroma games. So she's doing every channel in this community. She did 2 lives talking about, she started with Natasha. So she did 2 lives about her so far. So that's the name of the channel. I don't know if I have a mod in here, but you're welcome to drop Xylie's channel in here. So she's, upset the people that support, but she's not just going to be talking about Natasha. She's going to be, you can drop her channel. Yep, Michelle, go ahead. So she's talking about this whole community as a whole, and people need to go into that, realizing that. Just realize that this is somebody who's from the commentary. She talks about channels that are way bigger than anybody here. And she's just talking about facts. She doesn't go into people's real lives. She's not looking at, So she did. She's not going into speculations. She's not going into he said, she said. It's all based on stuff that you can hear for yourself in people's lives. So I think that that's a good way to go at things, because people's personal lives, people's criminal history, I don't think that that's an appropriate thing to go onto on YouTube. And we don't need to. Yeah, there's no bias at all. Right. She's not familiar with this community. So like for her, it's not personal at all. And she's really funny. I know that, if you're a Natasha supporter, you probably don't care for her right now, but believe me when I say, like, she's talking about everybody in the community. And I think it's a wake up call, because, I've lost the self-awareness here. So, to hear somebody else talk about our community, guys, it's eye-opening. Let me tell you. Yeah. So yeah, she does a really good job. So she's done two lives so far, and I believe she does them on like Fridays and Saturdays, I believe, maybe, or I could be wrong, but she has another one scheduled. I don't think she's revealed who this one's about. But she's really well researched, really good channel. I enjoyed her a lot. She's really funny too. So, I do recommend that. If you're looking for something that's a really non-biased thing, just don't get upset if she mentions somebody that is a creator you support, because nobody is exempt from this. But it's not doing it inappropriately at all. So yeah, right. Yeah, she talked about going real, and it's true. Most creators are going real life, and no one needs to make that a point. Right. You don't have to. She has plenty of content to talk about. All of us do. Hey, Melissa Jade, just from what they see on here. So, people were like, oh, well, did you see this, or this? And she's just like, I don't care about those things. We don't need to talk about those things. Somebody's real life doesn't matter just because, we have enough to talk about just by what's being said on the internet with proof. Because it's when we start talking about things that we don't have as fact, that we're just speculating, that's when we lose our credibility, guys. And that's when all of this starts to creep in with this, giving the other person that opportunity to discredit us, and say that, look, well, they're wrong, or that, you know what I mean? That's what the problem is. It's like when you're not dealing in facts and you're not fact checking, you're not researching, that's that's where the problem comes in. Because that's how it gets out of hand. How many times have we had somebody say something on here that turned out not to be true and it was a big deal? I've had it happen. I've seen it 1,000 times. I'm not even just talking about one place. I've seen a lot of people run with things as fact that were not fact. Yeah. Research, receipts, and proof. Yep. And the commentary channel got, that's what I'm saying, guys. It's a whole different community. It's got the exciting drama stuff that you guys enjoy, but it's not like this. It is done in a way that is not this. So if there's going to be something else that appeals to you guys, that this is going to be a community for you. It's not, and there's no real life stuff. Yep. Yeah, and they do work together. Yes. Yep. 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 Yeah. The commentary channels, guys, yeah, definitely check it out. There's a lot of different channels like that. But yes, I'm excited about it because I like the people that I've met there so far. I've been trying to go into the chats there as well, and they are, you brought your bee friends. Yes. And yeah. But it was interesting because even I didn't realize that what was going on here was so, because even I was defending it. It was almost like I was so used to it, I had normalized it, and it's not normal. And I feel like a lot of people have been so used to it that we also believe it's normal. But things don't have to be like this. We can still have that drama that we enjoy. We can still see that back and forth and people being petty and salty and sometimes a little mean. Because let's not lie, a lot of us enjoy watching that stuff. That's what drama is, and I think a lot of us here enjoy it, but not when it crosses lines where people's families are being involved, people's personal lives, people's pasts, all of that stuff. That's well, and yeah, yep, it is less stressful to watch. I agree. Hey Megan, good to see you. I am having a good day. I'm probably going to get off of here soon. I'm playing with my silly putty, and it's lots of fun. It's actually called Thinking Putty, but it is like the best fidget toy because it doesn't make a whole lot of noise here. Yeah, right. Creators talk other channels to support without doing their homework. Right. It's true. And the minute that you say something that isn't fact, there goes your credibility out the window. And so what kind of awareness are we doing when nobody can really fully trust where anybody's coming from? And of course, if you're trying to really bring attention to somebody, the minute that you're known for, making false allegations and saying things that aren't true, why would anybody want to listen to you? And we've seen that. I've seen people go off on information about me that isn't real. And I'm like, really? Like, were you going to fact check that? Like, and I mean, like a lot of people do say they apologize for it, but like the damage is done sometimes, depending on what you're saying. And it's not fair. It's not fair. And I know that it might not be everybody's cup of tea. And, but like I said, I'm not here to take sides with anything. There have been things even said about like Natasha that isn't true and that people have run with as fact. And we don't need to be going off of that kind of stuff. There's plenty to talk about with just the stuff that we see on YouTube. It doesn't have to, we don't have to talk about other stuff like that, like the people that people want to talk about dig their own graves with that, but we also don't need to be spreading misinformation. I think that's dangerous. I do. Yeah, I think it's dangerous. And I think that it's obviously we're seeing the fruits of that right now with how people are. Yeah, it doesn't come in a can. Well, kind of a can. It comes in a tin, like a tin. Yeah. And it's like, it's not for big kids. I mean, you find it in the toy section, but yeah. And a lot of stuff, I mean, yeah, this community is something else. And I don't know what it's going to take to change. At this point, I'm not sure it can. You have all, like I said, yeah, flat tin. Yep. Yeah. It's like Aaron's Thinking Putty or something. I don't know. But and right. You should only trust what you see. That's right. And guys, remember also that like receipts can be doctored. Things can be photoshopped. Things can be, we've seen it all the time. Somebody will, create a clone account, go into a chat, write something, take a screenshot of it, and all of a sudden that's fact too. When that person wasn't even online when that was said. I've seen that happen to other people. I've seen things photoshopped. I've seen it all. And that's when people lose their credibility on here. And like I said, I've seen so many creators say something. They're like, I'm done with the drama. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much. I just want to be left alone. I just want to do my content. Well, then just do your content. You're not going to be able to do that unless you stop responding. And people, I know that it's hard to do that, but if you're just going to keep this cycle going. So if you really are done with it, you really don't want to do drama, and you really don't want to be that channel, you just want to be left alone, then just do your channel and be left alone. People are still going to talk about you, yes, because people want to bring you back in, because a lot of people really enjoy this kind of chaos. Just ignore it though. Do you? A lot of these channels are big enough that even if they lost a bunch of subscribers, because you're still going to have a huge channel, and you're going to get other ones. You're going to get new ones. That's how it works. But if you're yeah, people do, and see eye for an eye. And that's what I had to do. I had to say it ends with me. I wanted to come on here and I wanted to go off on a few people, and I'm just not going to do it. It ends with me. I've made peace with what I need to make peace for. Not a whole lot, Irvin, just chatting, just chatting. And that's what I've done. But that's what I encourage for people, because I think that there are people on here that are so much more than just that and could do more than that. But I also want to point out that if you are a drama channel, just own it. There's nothing wrong with being a drama channel. Just don't be an asshole and do things really badly and inappropriately. That's all. But I think that there are people on here that could do things that are not drama. And if you really want to be left alone, then just be left alone. And if you really don't want to be part of the drama, stop making channels and picking fights with people and inserting yourself into drama for no reason except to build a channel. If that makes no sense. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep harping back on that because yes, I've been getting a kick out of a few things lately that I've been seeing, and I'm just like, really, it's too much, guys. It's too much. And I try. That's what I try to. I'm just gonna call you Moody Mary because it's easier to say than that, but I do think that's a cute little fire demon. But I'm really trying to. And that's all people have lost focus. And I feel bad for everybody that gets caught up in it. Nobody should be afraid to chat somewhere. No, I'm afraid to chat some places. I shouldn't care, but I'm like, I have to even think about it. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm seen in this chat, somebody's going to screenshot it. They're going to run it back to here. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be conspiring with this person, even though I've never spoken to them outside of YouTube before. And and people are going to go on that, and then somebody's going to chase me from chat to chat to chat to chat to call me out on stuff, which has happened to me as well. Like, who has the time for that? Especially when it has nothing to do with them. Like, if you think that I did something to somebody, why are you following me chat to chat to chat to chat to do that? Like, that's obsessive. Like, calm down. I don't do that to other people. Yeah. Right, it is. It's a one-upping competition, and it's getting to the point where it's not going to stop until somebody else just stops. And it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're backing down. It doesn't mean that you're losing face. In fact, I have the utmost respect for any creator in this community who stops, who has a whole bunch of awful crap done about them, their children talked about, all of that stuff that these people are doing, and doesn't respond and just keeps their head held up high and keeps doing what they do. That is who I would have the utmost respect for at this point. Because you want to respond. And a lot of people are like, you should respond. I've had people tell me that I should respond to things, but what's the point? I don't want any, first of all, I don't want anybody, nobody was, I don't do this whole clapping thing. I clap when people win, not when people are being train wrecks. So, sorry, that was mean. Okay. But we don't do that here. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to continue it. Why? What's the point? We do forget we're adults. It's true. And there are really good people in this community. And that's what bothers me the most is that, there are generous, kind, empathetic, compassionate people here in this community. And it's because they care about certain creators or other people that they get so angry and involved in things. But I feel like that, I don't know. I feel bad because there are really good people here. And I feel like the stuff that's happening, I'm not really sure I don't know what it's going to take to stop. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Right. And that's what I'm saying, Dark Magician, about the losing your credibility. And that's another way to lose your credibility. If you're calling out a behavior and you're doing the exact same thing, then why you're losing your credibility that way too? Do better. If you really think that you're doing something that they're, just take the moral high ground. Even I struggle to do that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect at all. Not even close. I've made some bad decisions on here too that I regret. I've made choices for the wrong reasons. I'm not perfect. I've had some situations where my morals and values have been tested, and I might not have made the correct choice at that time. And then and you learn from that and you move on. But it is the truth. It is the truth. Right. And that's the problem. I'm hearing today, somebody did something, and then I'm hearing today as a response, well, how would you like it if I did that? Maybe, I should go and do that to your child. Maybe I should go and do that. But so how is that helpful though? I'm sorry somebody did that to you. That sucks. That's not okay. It's inappropriate. We shouldn't be condoning or allowing that. However, why is it okay for that person who, if somebody did that about my child and I came on here and I'm like, well, maybe I should be calling, do that to you and all of that and fine. How is that helpful? What? Like, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Like, you handle things the way you need to handle things, but if you're capable of doing just the same things, then how are you any better? How are you any better? How is that right? How is it right? And then you'll have the people that support that person be okay with them doing it because they're responding. But if the behavior's wrong, it's wrong. If a behavior is wrong, it should be wrong across the board. End of story. Like it just shouldn't be a gray area or just because it's a creator that you like. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, there are, and I agree with you, Mike. I agree, and that's what I want for people. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I think that there are some creators here that have a lot of talent and potential. And like, people are laughing and hearing me saying that because they're like, well, you have such a small channel. Well, I do social media. Like, the difference between what I did before and this is that I was behind a brand. I was behind a logo. Like, I wasn't my own face, and it was very different than what I'm doing here. But yeah, people will condone bad behavior when, it's against someone that they don't like. Absolutely. And I will not calm down, Bears Fahrenheit. I am calm. I'm always calm. I'm not crazy. I'm not a emotional person like that. I'm generally calm. I'm not. It takes a lot to rattle me, honestly. I'm a really easygoing person. Hi, Gene. It takes a lot to really bother me, but sometimes I get annoyed or I get passionate about things. It's just how it goes. And I have my silly putty right now, so it's fun to play with. But it is, and I just want it to stop. That's all. That's why I'm doing something different. So tomorrow we're gonna be doing that, and then I can, depending on how it goes, and I think it'll go really well. I think that, I'll continue to do stuff like that. I want my dad to come on here and do some segments on some different stuff, some different topics, like serial killers, because I know he's done some correspondence with some notorious people, and he has letters from them. So I don't know if he'd be willing to share any of that, but if he is, that would be wonderful. I think he might. Yeah, right, Moody Mary. I agree. Like, the logic, and I also want to make it clear, though, I understand why people would feel that way, though. Like, it really sucks that anybody's doing that in the first place. Like, nobody should be doing that at all. And if somebody does it to you, I get the anger. I do. I get the anger and stuff like that. I understand it, but it's like a contest, yeah. So I don't know, guys. Hold on. Some creators are discouraged by views, but trying to try. Right. That's what I'm saying, Mishi, is that, ultimately a lot of people, I'm not even just talking about myself, but like a lot of people in general, like, have really large channels. And if they were to do something different, they have the personality to do something different. And they might lose like some people, that are really just in it for the drama. But, the people that really support them will stick around. Because they're good at what they do. They're engaging. They're good at doing lives. And I think that they have a lot of potential and they can do things like other things. But it is discouraging when, you do lose that support. You know what I mean? It is. It definitely is. Like I said, when I was behind a brand, so I wasn't like behind my own picture or anything like that. But, when I lost my account because of nonsense that happened, I was like, oh, well, at least I still have these connections I made. At least these people still talk to me. So I would message them from my personal account, and they want nothing to do with me. So it was like, okay, well, they didn't really support me. They just, I'm like, it's the same person. You were talking to me, just not knowing it was me. And it's like the minute your name doesn't come with like that notoriety or that clout, a lot of people leave. And it was hurtful. It definitely hurt my feelings a lot. I was like, okay, well, I guess we weren't really friends. But, I had to realize that there's going to be those people anywhere you go that are just going to like, jump from whatever's hot. And I think that's everywhere you go. And it sucks, but that's just the way it is. And you kind of just have to anticipate it, I guess. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Do I read the files my dad has? I don't think, no, I haven't, because the files that my dad has are confidential. And I couldn't, like, he would get, like, before, like in the early 90s, he would get like the actual like written files. But even later on, he had a laptop before, like most people did. It was this giant thing, and he would get it dropped off every week. And I like by somebody, I remember he would have it dropped off and would have all the files on it for him to read. And it was all, do you guys remember like when like computers were mostly like a black screen with like green writing? I remember like before the laptop, it was like files on a big floppy disk for that. At least that's my memory. I could be wrong. I might not have been, aware enough of technology but that was just my interpretation of it. But no, I have not been able to read any files. And like I said, I'm hoping that we can get around. I want him to share those facts with you. I just don't know if he can use actual inmates' names, just because some of that information might be confidential and not available to the public. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, a lot of it, he was on the parole board when I was a kid, so I never was tempted to go on there when I was a kid. And we talked about it. Like I said, I was able to go to some of the things. So he would bring me to the prison to sit in on some of the hearings with the prisoners, with their consent, obviously. And a lot of them didn't. They didn't mind. So obviously, if one wasn't comfortable with me being there, I would not be in the room. But I've also sat in on victim impact hearings. I was there for the victim impact statements with the aftermath of the Station nightclub fire, where they couldn't even do that in the prison because there were so many people. 100 people died, and countless others were very, very much so injured. So they actually had to do that hearing in the police station in one of like the big auditorium type rooms, because there was that many people affected and wanting to talk. And that was interesting. That was one of the bigger cases that I remember happening. And my dad has actually some interesting stories about the band manager for Great White, who was the one who set off the pyrotechnics, who was in prison. He pled guilty. My dad actually said that he really, really did take accountability, and that he got it. Like he understood. He was the only one that actually like took responsibility straight off the bat, which he should have, because he was the one who lit the pyrotechnics. But my dad got to know him, and yeah, so that's what's interesting to me. And that case in general is very interesting to me. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it was the band Great White. They were here in Rhode Island, and there's a lot of like debate on who's at fault for it, because there was the people that owned the nightclub who had installed these what's the word for it? Basically a really flammable foam for soundproofing. And the allegations are that they knowingly got this cheaper foam for soundproofing because it was cheaper, and they were trying to cut corners, and it's highly flammable. And then when it burns, it's toxic. So, when the pyrotechnics were lit without permission in the small, the weirdest part is that you can watch the entire thing go down on YouTube, because there was somebody with a camera there filming for a segment on nightclub safety that night. So you can watch from the minute the fire starts to when everything goes quiet, because everybody died and was stuck inside the nightclub because there was a bottleneck and people couldn't get out. So it's really disturbing. It's probably one of the more disturbing things that I've watched on YouTube, or anywhere for that matter. But it's a really well documented thing. But there's a lot of debate on whether the brothers that owned the nightclub knowingly installed that foam, knowing that it was flammable, but did it to cut corners, or if there's also some evidence that says that they were given that foam by mistake and it was the other people's fault. But who ended up, the manager went to prison, the one who lit the fireworks. He went to prison. He pled guilty, but the owners of the nightclub, only one of them went to prison, and he has not necessarily taken accountability, as far as I know, for any of it, and has placed the blame elsewhere. But it's it's an interesting case, because it was bad. It was bad. That fire spread and really fast, and nobody knew where the exits were. And apparently, one of the exit in the back was guarded by a bouncer, and people were trying to get out, and they were told it was locked. They were told it was for the band only. And even with the fire, nobody was being let out that door, and a lot of people died because of that. One of the guitarists for Great White went back in to save his equipment, and he died. Yeah. So there was that. It was really tragic. It's really bad. And now it is There's like a garden and a memorial there, but I remember where that happened. I mean, and here in Rhode Island, like everything's very close together. So that's not too far from where I live. And actually, when I used to work at a group home, and there's a doctor's office right across the street from it, and that's where I used to bring the kids. And I remember that, when they first put up that garden, but even the garden, like, you're trying to make something memorial and pretty, but it's hard to make that area look pretty. But yeah, that's right, Mike. That's right. Yep. You are completely right. But yeah, it is a very interesting case just because the entire thing is documented. You can literally watch everything happen in real time for yourself. And yeah, and unfortunately, like, you know that when the screaming stops, you know why, and that's unfortunate too. That's like really, really sad. But yes, your in-laws have family in Rhode Island. Yes. Yeah. Here in Rhode Island, like everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Like Rhody Gal has met my mother, and yes, and we've probably met too, but yes. And I'm sure I have met her at some point, but yeah, you read where a brother and sister died. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of those, Kellyanne. There was, a few people, there was like 100 people died. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you never know, everybody went out just to have a good time, and they expected to, nobody expected to have that night be their last night, especially in such a horrific fashion. And it really makes you appreciate, you never know. So whenever I go to like a concert, has Rhody Gal met I don't think Rhody Gal's met my dad. No, I don't think so, but she's definitely, well, she might have, because my dad might have been at this, where my mom does a lot of like homeless outreach and stuff. So she had like a pop-up soup kitchen, and Rhody Gal was volunteering with her family doing that. So she definitely met my mother doing that. Which, see, a lot of people in this community like to say, well, what have you done for the community? Well, there are people in here that do a lot of stuff for their communities, like volunteering at soup kitchens or food banks, or, you don't know what people here do to help their fellow human beings out there. But she might have met my dad. I have no idea. Maybe. She knows who he is. But yeah, so I don't know, guys. That's an interesting case to me. And I actually just recently read a book about it. The mobile phones in Britain were the size. Yeah, the Nokia bricks. That's right. I always wanted one of those. Remember car phones, guys? I remember car phones. Guys, my dad, you know what he had that I got one as a hand-me-down? I remember, I used to play video games on my graphing calculator in math class, because you could get like some interesting stuff in there. But the other thing that I had, remember Palm Pilots? My dad had a Palm Pilot, and I remember that was like the coolest thing. And then he had a BlackBerry. But Palm Pilots, that was like way like ahead of its time, I think. I remember you could like go on the internet on it, but it was like a planner, but like electronic. It was pretty neat. Actually, I don't know how long that's been there. No water. But yes, I always wanted a Palm Pilot. But my first phone was a Kyocera, and it was weird. It had this ugly, ugly dark green. Like it had interchangeable faceplates. And then I had a cool Motorola, and I recently switched to iPhone in July. I got an iPhone, and I'm never going back. And I don't know what took me so long to switch. I love my iPhone, so I am never going back. I don't know why it took me so long at all. I really don't. I mean, maybe the price tag was a little disconcerting, but I needed a new phone. I had my Galaxy for a really long time, and it was like dying. I couldn't even hold a charge through a live. Like I would go for a walk and have a live on, and it would be dead by the time I got home. And I was like, I can't have this, because I use my phone constantly. So I was like, I need something that works. From Narragansett. Narragansett is gorgeous. At an indoor concert venue. I vaguely do. Indoor concert. I'm not sure. Probably was it in the US, Kellyanne, or there was one in like Paris that I believe happened at one point. I know that there was the Las Vegas shooting that was horrifying. I remember that there was that. That was a music one. I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about, and I cannot for the life of me remember. My brain is like not working right now. Yeah, beeper. Yeah, your pager. I love listening to songs that have such dated pop culture references in them. I always get a kick out of it. Like there's a couple songs that's like, on my pager, and I'm like, really? Oh yeah, well, yeah, Lorianne, I think, um, what's, oh god, why can't I remember his name? Dimebag Daryl was shot, at a concert. I believe that there was that as well. Yes, so that could be what she's talking about. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I know. How tragic. Like, why do people do these things to each other? Like, why can't people just chill? Yeah. It wasn't Vegas. Oh, there were videos. Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you're talking about. I'm not sure. I feel like in my head I know, but like I'm not putting the pieces together because it is, it's really nice out and warm. I'm probably going to go for a walk, I think. I'm going to go for a walk, get some fresh air, just stretch my legs here, and I will be back on later tonight though because I want to do some true crime. But don't hold it against me if I don't. But I should. It depends. My I've been getting real bad headaches lately. I get headaches because it's my allergies and the pollen and all of that is just it's horrible for my sinuses. And I just by the end of the day, sometimes I just have the worst migraines. But and looking at a screen doesn't help. But I think actually, what? Yeah, I'll probably come on here tonight. It's why it's St. Patrick's Day. I believe it's St. Patrick's Day today. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, Kellyanne, that's horrifying. I can't imagine moving bodies, and the cell rings. Yeah, there's just so much hurt and crazy stuff that goes on in this world, and in the grand scheme of things, I have nothing to be upset about. Like, I've lived a very blessed life in those fashions. I have a roof over my head. Especially with like the stuff going on in the Ukraine and all of that. I just always have to be grateful for what I have. I always have to take a step back and just really, really remind myself that things could be a lot worse for me. And that me complaining about stuff isn't gonna. Oh, it's the 17th. Okay. Why am I dumb? Why did I think it was today? Why did I think it was today? Did somebody tell me it was? Did somebody lie to me? I feel like somebody lied to me. I don't know. I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't know. Every day is like, when after I've just been like so swamped with my like schoolwork that now that I'm done, I feel like I've just emerged from a cave. But yeah, like I always try to keep my blessings in mind because, a lot of people that have had the, stuff that I've been through have not come out on the other side as fortunate as I have. And I've had, I can't complain. I could sit and complain and feel sorry for myself all I want, but who am I to complain when there are people that are, suffering the way that they do? And I'm very blessed. I try to remind myself that, and I try not to let things get to me too much, just for that reason. Just for that. It's hard though sometimes because I am definitely the queen of wanting to feel bad for myself. Let me tell you, there's been a lot of things that I'm like, nobody understands, whatever. But you gotta get back up on your feet. You gotta keep your eyes on the prize, and one foot in front of the other. That's how I see it. And that's what I'm gonna do. So I hope that people can be here for what I want to do with my channel. I hope that people enjoy that. I understand that, the true crime stuff or whatever I'm trying to do might not be everybody's cup of tea, and maybe I won't be good at it, but I'm going to give it a try. So I really, really hope to see a lot of you there. Because I'm going to say it 1,000 times. I am not here to talk about other people. I don't want to. I do not want to. I don't want to do that. I have made my peace with whatever. I have said what I need to say about anything I need to say. That's it. That's it. I have no intention of going after anybody at this point in time. I'm just not. I'm going to do something different. So regardless of where you come from, what chats you frequent, what community you're in, you are welcome here. And nobody will bother you on my watch, because I think that that's not what this channel is. That's not what this channel is. To here, my only loyalty is to my subscribers, to put out good content, to listen to what you guys want, and go from there. And that's all. Life's about trying new things. So we're gonna try some new things, and that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. So, yeah, there is no use beating a dead horse with the drama. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, well, are you just giving up on a cause? That I don't think that's even fair. And because I've said everything I need to say, I don't need to continue to do this song and dance. No, that's not what I want for my channel, first of all. And secondly, like, what difference am I making? Like, I'm not making a difference. I'm not. I'm just creating more drama. And that's so far from what I wanted to do. So clearly there's no point in me doing that. And I would hope people can still support me. the fact that I don't want to do that. But if if you can't, you can't. It doesn't mean that I, you know, don't feel the way that I do about things. Of course I do. But if that, as a channel, that's not what I want to do. I just don't. And I hope to see a lot of you there. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I encourage everybody to be there. It'll be good, and I'll be on time because my dad is always on time for everything, so I won't have a choice. So I will not be pushing back the time on that. My scheduled time is my scheduled time, and he will make it sure that I adhere to that. And as for tonight, I'm going to try to come on a little bit later. It might be a little bit earlier. I might try to come on here at maybe like 8 or 9. But we're gonna talk about some true crime stuff. I'm gonna stream some stuff for you. I want to talk about a little bit about the Columbine massacre and like the true story behind that, in my opinion, and go over some of the new information that's come out in the past, I don't know, like 5-6 years. And yeah, because I don't think the media did that case. I think that's a really great example of the media, swinging its narrative to, try to push political issues where they don't belong. And that, I think that, and I didn't even know that. I thought that I knew the reason for it. I thought that I believed it until I started doing research, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not what went on at all. Because the media likes to do that. They like to use opportunities of things that happen to push a particular agenda through fear and stuff like that. But we are not going to go into that. We don't need to go into that part. But and I don't know. I don't appreciate it. But we're going to talk about some of the facts with that, and I'm going to share with you guys some of the stuff that I've come across, because there are some small YouTube channels that have put out some really good videos. And like I said, I can't imagine they'll have an issue as long as I do commentary and I plug their channel. So I will send, if my mods are able to be there for that, I will be sure to let you guys know about the channels that will need to be dropped in the chat. But yes, I'm really excited about that. That's a case I've wanted to do for a while, but I've been hesitant because YouTube is really particular about it. They do not like people talking about that. I have seen people even having to change the font and like using numbers instead of letters in there. I probably am not going to do politics, Michelle. I might mention some stuff in general, but I'm not going to like put my stance on it. I do want to try to avoid politics because, like I said, I've talked to you about my views and stuff, but there's some things that I think that, regardless of what you believe politically, I think that we can all see that some things are pushed for a narrative one way or another. Like, I think that no matter what way you look at it, or else, you can't see it any other way. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe some people do. Yeah, it depends. We'll see where it goes. Because, I feel like I've seen people talk about politics on here and it's gone a lot better than, the drama stuff. So who knows? But I think I'm more going to point out the agenda that was pushed after that happened, and the different yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, people talking about certain things and whatnot. But I want to share the stuff but yeah, YouTube doesn't like that topic at all. I've seen people having to use numbers as letters in their video titles just to post it without getting taken down. And I really don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand, but like, have you seen some of the stuff that did I hear political talk? I try to avoid it, Nat, but it can't be any worse than what we talk about anyway. But yeah, we can play it by ear. I mean, I have no issue sharing what I believe. I mean, I'm very, and I think people know this about me. Like, I'm very middle. Like, I'm very centrist on a lot of things. I have very strong views about certain things, and less so about others. But I think that's you like politics, Nat? All right. Because I have no issue. I like, I see political stuff based on, I don't vote like a straight ballot. Like, I go by issues. I try to look at things that way, and I try not. I don't know. I feel really strongly either way about a lot of stuff, and it's you're right. I think that's how anybody is. But there's some people that just like get really caught up on just saying one side or another. Is there a politics community? I mean, I'm sure there is. I feel like that's a stupid thing to ask. I'm sure there is. I haven't gone looking for it because sometimes I just get really frustrated. Plus, because I don't really have like a place that I feel like I literally I don't think I fit into like a particular category. It really depends. It really depends. And I have views that are unpopular, but I also have some views that are, I don't know, it depends. I feel like I don't actually have a really good sense of this community, to be honest with you. I've seen, there have been people that I think maybe, yeah, I like to look at all sides too, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm centrist. There are some moral values that I have that I don't bend with. There are certain things that I don't stand for in my life or with anybody. There are some things that I can't do, but there are other things that I don't feel as strongly about, or I see that, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. You're I think that's what's important. I think a lot of people really should look at all sides. If and if you end up with the same conclusion, then great, but I don't believe everything somebody says just because they say it and they are like the representation of a certain party, if that makes sense. That's just not how I function. I always ask why, and you always have to look at, like, it's complicated. I think this country is just, oh, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, that's a good like variety though, Nat. I dig that. I think that that's a good mix of things, especially dogs, because Kane is adorable and he's like probably my favorite dog on here. I'm sorry guys to everybody else who has dogs, but I have like this thing for small little white dogs. That's like my dog Envy. I have one Beast, who she is the worst. I love her anyways though, and then I have Traveler, who is something. If there was a word to describe him, or like a thing, he should just be wearing a shirt at all times that says "I'm nervous," because that's what he is. He's always tap dancing, and like he's very nervous all the time. I don't know what happened to him, but he is. I feel bad for him. He doesn't relax. Like, we've actually had to give him medication. So he can relax, because he's just always so hyper vigilant. And he can never relax. Like, he wasn't sleeping. He was just pacing, and it was really sad. I was like, what happened, buddy? But yes, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go drink some water, because I have to be hydrated, because I don't drink enough water. I'm going to go drink some water. Not that you need to know that, but yes. So I'm gonna start working on my content for tonight. I think I'm gonna come on and do that, and hopefully that works out okay. So that'll be fun. And then tomorrow is the big day, so that'll be good, and it'll be do or die. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think it's gonna go well. I think you guys will enjoy it, and whatever goes wrong tomorrow, we'll just take that and learn from it. And then with the next segment that we do, we'll learn from that. And I'm also going to be having my mom on here too. So you'll have my whole family. You get to meet my whole family. I'm going to have my mom on here at some point too. We're going to be doing the adoption panel for people to share their adoption stories. And she's going to come up here and help me tell mine. So that'll be fun as well. I know there's some people that had some interest in that as well. So we're going to do a variety of things here. We're not going to just we're going to see what works. We're going to see what people like. We're going to see what I'm good at. It'll be fun. All right, guys, but I'm going to get off of here. Stay safe on those YouTube streets. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that thumbs up, guys. It helps me out, and you guys are all the best.